There we go. Okay, that's a little bit of technical issues. What's going on, everybody? Hello, welcome to another episode of The Watch with me, your host, John Lucas. That's right. Get excited, make some noise. World of boxing and beyond on this Friday afternoon. It's the most wonderful time of the year. Yes, it's the end of the week, and it's time to relax. Time to get excited, time to talk about some news in regards to the boxing and sports world as a whole. As you can even see in the title, hey man, Deontay Wilder, he talks with him returning or heating up yet again, in the world of heavyweight boxing is a buzz once more as potentially the hardest puncher in the division, one of the hardest punchers in history, is going to come back to the ring when what would but might be one last hoo-ha, yes indeed, of an endeavor to try to get a shot at a championship opportunity. But now we've got a little bit of conflicting reports. Now I'm trying to figure out where the world stuff is going to go. We had some talks with USYK. We had some talks even with the likes of a Derek Chisora. What's going to win out in the day? And is it even possible? And we can see the likes of Deontay Wilder get something done to get this type of victory, or is it too much of a lofty goal for somebody like Wilder to be able to go and handle and actually take on as his own? So we're going to talk about that and so much more on this show with you today. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you listening. And we appreciate all of you coming in on this spot. If you haven't already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Yes, sir. Go and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to be a part of the hottest show on all the globe right here on YouTube and on every podcasting platform imaginable. Also, be sure to go through, rate us 5 stars on their podcasting platform. Wherever you listen to podcasts, leave a like on the video, please. It helps out the algorithm to push this towards the masses of the globe and make it so everybody can see exactly what we got going on right here on YouTube. And also be sure to go and subscribe to the channel. Oh yeah, leave your chats in the comment section so we can see what you want to say and you be a part of the conversation. And please be sure to share the show with everybody that you know. Yes indeed, so we can keep on building up this empire. To get all with you and your support, we can make this possible. We can make this thing bigger, better, and grander with you supporting and being a part of this conglomerate of a community. It means the world to me. It means the world to all of us. And hey, help us out a whole bunch. Also, if you want to support the channel, as we're funded by viewers like you, we got Cash App, PayPal, links down below in the description. If you would like to support, it would mean the world to me if you can, and it would help to make or invest into this show to make it bigger, better, and grander for your viewing and listening pleasure. But yes, indeed, as I'm grabbing my cup of water real quick, we're going to have a good old time on today, especially if you see anything like it was yesterday. And also, we're going to make sure that we have not just quality. We're going to make sure we have a lot of fun because you all are going to drive the conversation. Yes, indeed, it is championship rounds. If you didn't know, every Friday, you all drive the entirety of the show all day today. That's right. When you hear the sound of the bell, as you just heard, you get the opportunity to say whatever you want, get whatever takes you want off, get all your thoughts and opinions on anything involving the boxing world or beyond. You can be the person to control the narrative of this show, and you control how long we're going to go on this show as well. Yes, indeed, your voice is in fact your power. And you get the chance to go and be a part of the larger conversation in boxing as a whole. We hope you tune in. Hopefully you'll keep on chatting. Hopefully you'll keep on responding. Hey, not hopefully, willingly, we will have an absolutely spectacular show on our docket today. But without further ado, since we do have some stuff that we want to make sure we delve into, we got boxing to cover, we got sports to talk about, and we got Deontay Wilder to ask some questions about. So with all that being said, it is time to step into the ring, and it's time for the championship rounds. Yes, sir. Ring the bell. Let's get it started. Round one going away. We got ourselves a show on the docket, and it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be incredible. And as you can see in the title, in the description, in the thumbnail, it all revolves around, at least one of the main talking points, revolves around the news about the likes of Deontay Wilder and his return to the ring. Oh, yes, indeed. The Bronze Bomber is back, for better or for worse.
Hey, look at
looks
that. We got the problems here.
It looks to be.
We got some problems here.
That Wilder is now coming back in the ring, and if you go by what the multiple sources around social media have been reporting, on X and on other boxing websites, Wilder is looking to have a close-knitted, not just close-knitted conversation, almost a done deal, to have a fight with Alexander Usyk for Usyk's championships. Mind you, the first fight we had for Wilder in a win in a long time was against Hearn Dawn earlier this year when he finally got a stoppage. And I believe it was the 8th, 9th round, just about late in the fight. And the fight, it was better than what we had seen from the likes of Wilder in a minute. However, still, it was what was some call a lackluster performance compared to we want to see you back in the foray of looking like the old Deontay Wilder, the old Bonds Barber. Right now, some people calling you Rusted Statue. I did as well. But with that win, maybe some momentum got under his sails yet again. But lo and behold, all of a sudden, we see Usyk off of his knockout win of Daniel Dubois roughly 3 months ago come through and now say, well, I want to fight Wilder. Now, yes, indeed. All of a sudden, instead of going after AJ Caballero, he drops one of his belts to Fabio Wardley, who was indeed mandatory, and now is a full-blown champion, and is now looking to face off against Wilder for the unified heavyweight championship, and talks look to be moving very smoothly in the vein of Usyk and Wilder, and it's got everybody buzzing, it's got everybody excited, it's got everybody getting all antsy, because potentially their favorite fighter, the favorite heavyweight, the man who ran the table when it came to the world of boxing as the dominant force of nature, might just be back into action. And boy, it's going to be exciting to watch. It's going to be exciting to talk about, no question about it. But let me see your thoughts and opinions in the chat down below. Like with Al Booker. Hey, brother, what's going on with that? How you doing? Good to see you. Appreciate you tuning in to the show with it on today. Bomb Squad is back. You're doggone right, buddy. It's return to the ring. Now, for better or for worse, it looks to be that it's going to be legit. He's back. He's looking to take one more run and one more crack at the bat at becoming a champion, a bigger champion than he's ever been in his career, within this time being a unified champion. With 3 of the 4 belts under his disposal, always going to be a time to see if he can actually make it happen. And that's why also I wanted to touch on with you all in conversation. Hey, is this actually feasible? We got to be honest about this. Hey, man, we got to be real. Is this feasible? It is feasible. Even if the fight gets done, they're going to get paid. They're going to make bank. But, brother, can he actually make it happen? Can he actually win? More than just the thing with Usyk, why he's taking the fight. Brother, can Wilder even win this fight with what he's looked like in the past 3 times? That is, woo. I don't know. I strongly doubt it. As you've seen my sentiments about how I feel about Wilder in the past, but the same thing still bodes true today. I'm concerned. I'm a little bit concerned, buddy, because I want to see a good fight. And I don't know if Wilder's going to be able to give us that. From an entertainment and competitive standpoint at this point in time. But again, this is why I'm talking to you all. Let me see. Also, Bubba's watching. Jay, what's going on with it? Yo, good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show, Bob. I'm glad that you're back. Glad that you're here. Missed you. I'm so told you we got some people returning back to the stream. We're so happy that you're here with us today. It's a phenomenal time. It's a phenomenal weekend. Like I said before, it's the most wonderful time of the year because it's a Friday afternoon on a December where Christmas is right around the corner. Snow might be falling in your area. It's cold all across the globe, at least all across here in the States. And boy, it's gonna be a joy to witness all the festivities of the holiday season. And boy, we could start out those festivities with a bang, with a literal bang, again with Deontay Wilder. But with all that being the case, the bigger questions of beyond just the why, I want to know from you all, can he be competitive, at least in your humble opinion? Let me see, Wilder's going to get smoked, but I'm excited that Usyk wants to fight him, clean up the last great from the previous generation. And, excuse me, this is, in part, again, we touched on this earlier in the week. This is, or rather earlier in the month, rather. This is in part of why he was even entertaining this type of idea when it came to who he was going to fight and why he was going to fight Deontay Wilder. So you got to make sure I stay hydrated. Got to make sure I'm up to snuff. But with the legacy of work, sure, take out the old guard, take out the old kings, go do the last vestiges of the last generation to dominantly say, I beat them all. The idea is great. It's just the timing I can't stand. That's my thing. It's the timing.
Hey, look at
It's
him.
the timing.
We got problems here.
It is the timing.
We got some problems here.
It is because it with the problem is Usyk is coming up on 37, 38 years old. We, as much as we see the old guard of the heavyweight division, Fury, AJ, Usyk, or Fury, AJ, Wilder, all getting ready to leave the sport sooner. AJ, look, got a little bit more left in the tank, but everybody's at the tail end of their career in some regard. Usyk is also at that same tail end. Now, he's still fighting in an incredible level. He still is the best heavyweight in the world, no question about it. Number one, top 3 pound for pound, no question. But same question that we said about Wilder, the same sentiments that we say about Archie B, but the same thing that we say about the likes of Usyk. The brother, we don't know how long this prime is going to go. Take out everybody qualitative that you can whilst you're still at your best, because we don't know when the bucket's going to drop from under you. And there have been people, like with Joseph Parker, like with Fabio Wardley, hey man, they want their shot. And it's like, I'm not saying hold the division hostage. And I'm not saying he's going to go and just not fight them. But I would also like you to fight them at their best. And if you potentially get old overnight, like we've seen before with other fighters, well, all of a sudden, all of that populace of talent that is coming up in the sport in the heavyweight division, you can't face them like you would think you could. Or at least like you would have been if you had faced them earlier. My thing was, I at least wanted him to take off Fabio Wardley. Then afterwards, sure, fight Wilder. Go ahead. Handle your business, do what you got to do. Now it's a perfect reprieve of you going through. Now you can take a fight that's lesser of note, lesser in skill, because every fight isn't going to be a barn burner. I understand. Also, it would give Wilder an opportunity to grow a little bit more in the rankings of the heavyweight division, because he ain't really that high. At least not to me. He's not to me. So we're gonna talk about keeping some continuity in the world of boxing. Is Wilder a top 15 heavyweight? If he is at the bottom 15, and him just skipping the line all of a sudden, he'll be Master Petty, absolutely. But that's my only gripe. But in terms of the fight itself, hey, sure, make it if it's gonna happen. We gonna watch. That's the thing. We gonna watch it. And it's a resume thing. You right, Teddy Berkshire. It's absolutely a resume thing. And let me see. I think he'll fight Chisora, not Usyk. Now I did hear that as well. I did hear that. Bulb. I did hear that. In fact, Chisora put out a whole thing on his own social media in regards to that fight with Wilder and Chisora. Them in a face-to-face with each other. However, I don't know if that's going to happen, because I believe the talks with Wilder have advanced expeditiously in regards to them getting ready to fight with each other. In fact, I'll let him say it himself as we go and transition into the old world of picture, if it'll pull up. There we go. Just takes a little bit of time, a little bit of a delay, but here we go. I'll let Wilder tell you himself how these talks are going with him and Usyk, and why I think that fight is probably going to happen next.
Expecting that at all, I was like, when I got the call and, my manager them calling tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? We on the phone, I'm pacing, I'm back and forth. Like I said, it'd probably be, some type of burnt residue in my rug right now because of me going back and forth and stuff. I thought I smelled smoke, but yeah, I was excited though. I really was excited, and I was overwhelmed, with joy.
Do you want that smoke?
Oh hell yeah, I want that smoke. I want all that smoke. We're gonna make signal out of that smoke, and it's gonna be good. We in negotiations right now. Negotiations are going very well. I just hope and pray that it ends, all ends well, as well. And get the fans what they want to see. A lot of people are very excited. They made sure they let me know. And I was like, I had to call my guy. Like, man, they are really pumped for this fight. So we'll see what happens.
They think that.
And so, like, that's the thing. As again, I think that's in the clip kind of but his camera cut. But even still, when it cut, like it's. I don't think that this is anything else but just about a done deal that we're gonna see them get in the ring with each other. Whether you think he deserves a shot or not, it looks like it's gonna happen. It looks like straight up it's gonna happen, and it looks like, honestly, Wilder might be in a better headspace. Thank the Lord. Thank goodness, because like we said, the struggles of losing, the struggles of trying to retune yourself, regroup, and all that stuff, it can be a problem. Now, I hope, Lord willing, I hope he ain't with, I hope he is not with Malik Scott. Good gosh. Like, I hope and pray. Yeah, I think I heard that he might have, did he drop Malik Scott as his trainer? I can't remember. If it's with him, then yeah, it's going to be a showing up done deal. He's going down. But, my gosh, if it's not, maybe try to repair the relationship with Mark Whelan. Somebody that can better accentuate what your style is as a boxer to make it so you can actually have a puncher's chance in this overguard. It was overhand right to the body. You talking about with a shot to Usyk's body from Wilder? I mean, would it hurt? Yeah. Could it put him down? Absolutely. And see that when we get into the actual fight itself, hey, that's what the biggest thing is. How big is this puncher's chance with Deontay Wilder going up against the likes of the movement-driven, forward-pressing type of Alexander Usyk? It's, man, is it slim or is it legit a wide array of opportunity for Wilder to put him down and put him out? Hypothetically, Mr. Usyk finna to break him up, and I want to, but I want to see it. I'll give Wilder this out of all the active fighters. If he gets that one punch, it's him. But that delivery system is the issue. Well, the delivery system, and I think Al Boogie said it best. Delivery system has been out of order for like 6 years, and this is why I hate that he left Mark Breland and that he blamed him for what happened in the Fury fight when he was just trying to protect him. He went through and had it down to a T of perfection, how to land that right hand effectively every time. But he has gone so far the way of overcorrection with his ability that now Wilder is not the same deliverer of the system that he mastered. And he's lost the mojo, the flow, the same uniqueness of, while it's simple, hey man, that jab straight got it done every single time. Teddy Atlas even said it years ago. You can say what you want about him not being technical. He mastered that one delivery system of that jab leading into the right hand. Pop, pop. 2 punches almost sounded like one with how quickly he could explode forward. Utilizing that 212 frame at 6'6", being able to lunge forward like a doggone middleweight and generate power, the likes of which we haven't seen very few of in the history of boxing. This man had something that was not just the great equalizer, it was the great eraser. No matter what you did in his way, it erased your existence of ability to come through and be not just effective. Also, I got something in my shirt. I'm sorry, y'all. Something's in my shirt that is messing me up. Good gosh. Hold on. My bad. Something kept, I think it was like a thread. Something kept stabbing me in my neck. That hurt. Good gosh. But even still, the ability of the delivery system is it ain't where it needs to be. Ain't where it needs to be. But if he can get back to it, but we got ourselves a problem. we got ourselves an issue. Legit, we do. But let me see. 38, but boxing 50. You ain't lying. He does have some mileage on him as well. Both of them actually got a lot of miles on them as fighters. Let me see. No, he ain't Usyk. Maybe they're in age, but he took barely damage. It's the legs too that go first. That is a concern, especially with somebody that's movement driven as the likes of Usyk. Shoot, even for Deontay Wilder. But his legs were part of the big generator of how he was able to go through and land and explode forward with that length and power. That lunging step. Creating knockouts left, right, and center against just about everybody you could think of. That wild style was due to the fact that he could close distance quick and in a hurry at a heavyweight level in an insane degree. Did the Berman Stavern, did it to shoot. I think he did to Malik Scott too when he knocked him out. He did everybody. He did it to everybody. Let me see. Bond Squad about to get that last sack of cash, and they are. I guarantee you Wilder is going to try for his life to try to win. I promise you. But he is going to, this most likely, this is going to be it. This is going to be it. This is going to be it. It's going to be this. It's going to be this. And then they can make it happen, a fight with Anthony Joshua. It's going to be this and then potentially a fight with Anthony Joshua. Shoot. Don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if after the fight with Jake Paul and Wilder and them don't get a fight done. We could see AJ and Wilder fight against each other. Shoot. I guarantee you, if AJ wins and Jake Paul, or if AJ wins and Wilder somehow shocks the globe and knocks out Usyk, which by shock the globe, yes, we know it's a possibility because we know that power, but we also know it's highly unlikely because of the diminished skills of Wilder. He does get it done. We're finally going to get that super fight that we've been waiting on of AJ and Wilder, the two strongest punchers in the division, two of the strongest in the world. Let's see what goes through. We can finally get it. But I just don't know, man. I just don't know. The liver season's been out of order since the beginning of the grocery store clerks. It's part of a bigger issue. Part of it is the system around Deontay has been tampered with too much. It just has. At least in it's been tampered with too much, and I'll talk about that more so later on in the show. But I still want to make sure I see what you all have to say. But let me see. That's like when people were complaining that Usyk should fight Ajit. Those fights don't move the needle at all. And yeah. Like I understand that as well. Business wise, this is gonna make insane levels of money. Business wise, few draw in the heavyweight division like Deontay Wilder and like Usyk. Usyk has turned into a spectacle in his own right, and Wilder, because of the knockout ability, everybody still wants to see him. It has turned into a monetarily Goliath of a fight that people still want to see. I told y'all, the Wilder fans are similar to Errol Spence fans. They just want to see you in the ring. They are loyal. They are rabid. They are willing to go and see the lengths of however far you can go. It is a great abundance of support, revenue, and complete and utter ability to go and draw out the masses, draw out money, draw out bank. It's legit. And so it's tough to from a negotiating standpoint, a fight-making standpoint, to not see, hey, yeah, he can, Wilder, from that perspective, has the luxury, I can skip the line. Is it fair? No. Do I think he should get this opportunity over other people like Fabio Worley? No. But again, with this business, brother, this is why it's so important to become a commodity. That's what Wilder is. You can't teach what Wilder brings to the table, and you can't teach entertainment that every single time he comes out, it will be a big time affair. So I get it. I do get it. May not like the why that is happening, but I get why. Nonetheless, I get why. Nonetheless, let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Like with Adam, what's going on, Adam? Appreciate you tuning into the show. Sorry you're with us on today. I'm glad Wilder's getting another chance. I'm a fan, and I get you. I am too. I've been critical, no question. I have been absolutely critical of Deontay Wilder, and I am unapologetic in said criticism, but it was for a good reason, because of the lack of ability of Wilder to consistently work like he should have worked. And there was a lot of instances where, hey man, you doing stuff that you had no business doing, and you got stuff going your way as a boxer that you shouldn't be falling into these types of traps. I think this deserved criticism. I understand it. But I still want to see the brother succeed. I still want to see him be great, be dominant, be able to go through and shake up the heavyweight division. Go through it and with all these other old dogs being able to still reign at the top of the mountain, hey man, what's one more to strike fear into the heavyweight division? Let's make it happen. You get to get popping circumstance and the hype around Wilder. All of a sudden, the Bronze Bomber might really be back. I get it. I'm with you. But my God, he just got to do this. He got to do a complete overhaul. You're going to have to. As a stylistic fighter. But, hey, I'm glad he's getting his money. I'm glad he's getting an opportunity. I may think that it's unfair to others, but I can't deny it. Like, he put himself in this position to get this because this man had a 10-streak reign, WBC champ, and put on one of the greatest trilogies of modern day heavyweight history. And he's been trying to get fight with everybody that's possible. I can't say he's been ducking smoke. Well, outside of Anthony Joshua, he took it on just about everybody you could. Not everybody, but he's put on shows and he's been a warrior. He's gotten up multiple times. Actually, no, he has taken on everybody. Took on Justin Parker, took on Tyson Fury, took on Washington, took on Burma Stavern, took on most of the low-level fodder, then later on took on some of the higher-level fodder. And so I would love to see him climb that mountain and potentially reign again. At least just one defense. I don't think it's going to happen against. I just think it's going to happen against Usyk. I get low reward, high risk, and probably no money to possibly lose to a guy with your kryptonite. Yeah, no, I understand. It is a bad matchup. But I've also said before, hey man, if you're a champ, this is what you sign up for. You got to duck smoke. Oh, you can't, duck that type of smoke if it is at your doorstep. But in this type of situation, like again, with this amount of money, hey, it's hard to. You'll be a fool not to make that fight happen. Be a fool. Because what you think about it, like I get it. Usyk versus Fury, Wilder versus Usyk also seems like an exhibition fight. Yeah. See, you're off. You're off for that. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that, brother. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You're wrong for that. You are wrong for that. My gosh. Wilder versus Fury feels like an exhibition fight. And you know what? I somewhat see what you're saying. I had to get they're trying to balance out. That's pretty decent coffee. I was trying to balance out my water intake with my coffee to make sure that I'm as hydrated as possible. But it's not an exhibition. It doesn't feel like an exhibition. But it does feel like kind of a last to, go out with a chance at glory on a big stage, like somebody like Wilder of his caliber, deserves to, a quality send-off of a career that was incredibly polarizing and exciting and helped to foster rejuvenated life into the heavyweight division as one of the three most dominant faces of that regime. I get it. I get it. I get it. It's not an exhibition. It just but it does feel like kind of a last salute per se. It's a real fight. Well, I guarantee you, Wilder, if he can at this, if Wilder is as personable and as gratitude driven as we've known him to be in the past, he will not take this opportunity for granted. He will throw whatever, he will do whatever he can to at least attempt to try to get one more gold regime around it, rather one more gold reign around his waist, to be able to hoist that title up in the air and say, I'm the man one more time. I guarantee you, he gonna try. Ain't gonna be an exhibition, but my gosh, it's lopsided to say at least. If I'm Usyk, I'm staying away from Sanchez, Caballero, and Wardley. Wardley, he needs to fight. He's got to fight Wardley. That's unavoidable. It's got to be, especially because since he said he wants to go after undisputed. He's got to fight Wardley. Caballero, eventually you're gonna run into him. Do I think he can beat him? Yeah. Now, is Caballero gonna be hard to beat? Yes, absolutely, absolutely. But especially with that motor. And if you want to be smart, sure, try to stay away. Sanchez, I think he can. I think he handles Sanchez easy. RJ is the one that's the biggest concern, and Wardley is the biggest upset factor. In fact, Wilder is the original Wardley. Wilder's the original Wardley. One punch to save the day. One punch to change the course of everything. One punch to go through and dominate. If you think Wardley is a dangerous threat with that type of stuff, and we've seen him do it, twice or three times. Wilder, every fight, it was that. That right hand was a saving grace. 43 victories. 41 knockouts. Well, upwards of 41 knockouts. Nearly a 98% knockout ratio. The greatest right hand we've ever seen with power that has gone through and wiped the floor and put the greatest of greats even on the mat, like Tyson Fury for the modern day generation. He is, Wardley is a copycat from the standpoint of how he's been going about winning fights over the past couple times. Here's one person that can figure out, hey man, I need 8 seconds. You need 12 rounds. Or no, I just need 2 seconds. You need 12 rounds to beat me. I just need 2 seconds to beat you. That still bodes true, even with how much we may see the diminished skill. And so, you got to take them all on, even though Sanchez, I think he handles easy. But he ain't going to be able to duck smoke. He going to get a taste of what it's going to be like fighting against Wardley. Or rather, the original appeal, the original feel, what it's like to fight against what Wilder can do from Wilder himself. Usyk does deserve a tune-up fight, though. And, like, I get it. I just said I wanted that tune-up fight to be after Fabio Wardley. That was my own thing. But yeah, does he deserve a fight that isn't as taxing on the skills perspective? Sure. Absolutely. Still a high threat and danger from power perspective. But not nearly as copious of threats as we've seen him take on over the past couple years. Absolutely. Usyk doesn't need a tune-up. He's levels above the top heavyweights. Yeah, he doesn't. But like I said, again, that's why I kept saying every fight is not going to be a straight up barn burner 50-50 affair. Nor should it be. Nor should it be. For anybody who's ranked, you earn the right to now pick who you want before you have to go back into the 4A of, okay, dog. Okay, it's a little bit of fodder. Go back to being a dog and fighting the best of the best. Makes sense. So I get it. Right, there's zero reason for Usyk to want to fight any of those guys except for the hardcore boxing purists. Yeah, but I want that because I see the legacy of what this brother can be reaching the stratosphere. That's why I want him to fight all these people. Handle it while we know you can handle it. Because if you get to a point where you can't, again, the bottom falls out, then I'll get a little bit scared. I mean, Wardley and IJ do absolutely nothing for Usyk, no money-wise, not legacy-wise. Well, I ain't gonna say that. I ain't gonna say that now. Hold on. I don't know about that. If Usyk at 38 beat a young AJ Caballero who was able to knock out a Big Bang Jang and looked like a incredible young fiery threat in the heavyweight division as a whole, then also beat the likes of Wardley, who had gone through and beaten Joseph Parker, who was on a tear in his own right, who had came through and turned into quickly one of the most dangerous heavyweights, youthful heavyweights. From the standpoint, though he started late, he moved quick. One of the most dangerous heavyweights that we have in boxing right now. We're putting Wardley in the same destructive nature as the likes of Moses Talma, comparing Wardley to Deontay Wilder. Like, that is impressive. That is impressive. That doesn't take away. It might not add as much as, a big time endeavor with the likes of another fight with Tyson Fury or the two fights with Anthony Joshua. It might not add as much as those, but it does add a lot. It does add a lot if you win it and handle that. Because of the next generation, he would still have gone through and showed, hey man, I'm still reigning at the top. I'm still reigning up here, which would be incredible. And it would be incredible. Let me see. In hindsight, I don't think Wilder ducked AJ. Feel more like AJ never really wanted it. But that's my thing. Now, what I read was that Wilder was offered from the zone upwards of $100 million plus to fight against Anthony Joshua. But he foregoed that fight to take a rematch with Tyson Fury when that championship was on the table for him to get from Anthony Joshua for a big fight in Wembley, a huge fight in Wembley Stadium. When both of them were at that point, based on what I read from what the zone was doing to offer Wilder, and Wilder was the one that declined, and he never ran that back at any point in time. So that's why I said, hey, you could have fought. You didn't negate a great for another great because you fought Tyson Fury. Fine. But you could have had Anthony Joshua in a situation that made sense, and you went the other way. I understand, but at the same vein, I'm like, dang, we could have had that fight in the prime. We could have, and I really wish we did. Really wish we did. Let me see. Amin, brother, how you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. What you got to say on the matter? Usyk feels he is at the end of his career. Usyk also said, in terms of Wilder, feels like he's at the end of his career. And also Usyk himself, he's at the end. We all said he got 5 more fights left. So, how far that goes, we're going to see. And wants easy fights to end off his career. Well, he did still insinuate, hey man, me not being undisputed again is only going to be temporary. So it sounds like he will run back eventually, that fight with Fabio Wardley, and get potentially 3-time undisputed crown on his head. Hypothetically. Even still. He said he got a lot more left in the tank. So, if his 5-fight deal, 2 fights a year, 41 would be when he would retire. If he's still dominating at the top at 41, hey man, I guess the old mongoose is back. I guess the old mongoose has returned. From Archie Moore now to Alexander Usyk, but it keeps on dominating. It keeps on being able to be successful. Let me see. What will be more competitive, Usyk versus Wilder or Joshua versus Parker? Well, that's no question. That's the Joshua versus Wilder versus Usyk. Wilder versus Usyk. That's not even a debate. That's not even a debate. Wilder versus Usyk is 1,000 times more competitive than Joshua versus Jake Paul. Understand? Brian Scalabrine, NBA player, said this as a great point when it comes to comparative NBA talent at the lowest level to anybody who thinks they can get to the NBA. I'm closer to LeBron than you are to me. That's how far this gap in skill is. I'm closer to LeBron in his prime than you are to me. And I'm Brian Scalabrine, somebody who was seen to be more bench role player, absolutely not anywhere close to the high standings in the NBA. And that quote boded true. But you can't do nothing with them. Can't do nothing with them. You can't do anything with them. You couldn't even tie my shoes. That's how bad you are compared to me. And I'm retired now for upwards of a decade. That's what Jake Paul is going into with Anthony Joshua. Wilder versus Usyk is completely 1,000 times more competitive. 1,000 times more competitive. Absolutely. Oh gosh, absolutely. And it still gets me, and this is why I want this Jake Paul run to be over. Put this boy out. Put him out. Please make it happen. Oh gosh, please make it happen. Let me see. Facts out about Wardley. Wardley is the Usyk Wilder so far. Yeah, he is right now. He is right now. Lou DeBela explained the whole situation between Joshua and Wilder negotiations. I didn't know he did that. I gotta go find I'll go later on the show. I'll go look up that clip. Yesterday, offered him a three-fight deal for $100 million. The Zone executives publicly apologized for the way they handled. Okay, so it was a little bit that they. So was the Zone that might have messed up a little? Okay, all right, okay. Newfound information on my part. I'm more inclined. I'll be more than happy to go and learn more about it. And the AJ fight would have been the last fight on the deal, so there was no guarantee that AJ was part of the Zone contract. Okay. All right. Now, also, just devil's advocate. Normally, with that type of $100 million deal, just like with Turkey Al-Sheikh signing Canelo, Crawford was going to be in those plans one way or another. And just like with the likes of Canelo, the original plan, when that whole thing was made with Turkey and Canelo, Crawford guaranteed, and then also the goal, regardless of what happens, Turkey wants to get that Benavidez fight done some way, somehow. That was the initial really perceived argument, or rather really deliberately perceived dominant reason as to why that $200+ million 5-fight deal or 4-fight deal was made for Canelo. We're gonna get that fight that will make all that money back and some. Yeah, it ain't guaranteed, or it wasn't guaranteed, but it was highly inferred. It was highly inferred. If you sign this, you best believe we're gonna put you through the ringer of some talent. And this end goal of this deal is gonna be, if you keep winning, hey buddy, we rocking out. We rocking out. And you gonna face, oh boy, you gonna face Benavidez. That was the initial, very much perceived goal of that deal. And with Wilder, that's was inferred, at least when I was reading the contract, when I was looking at why the context behind everything surrounding not just the deal, but the landscape of the heavyweight division. Especially when AJ and Wilder, with AJ being unified, Wilder being WBC, both of them at their prime were knocking everybody out left, right, and center. And it looked like they were on a collision course. Seemed like it was the only way they could make it happen with that big money thing. So that's why we were like, why'd you turn it down when we thought you could, get guaranteed mega bucks and main event Wembley Stadium and what would have been a record-breaking level of money of two of the biggest punchers that we had in today's generation in their prime. That seemed like the stuff was written on the wall, at least at the time of said deal being proposed. At least in my opinion. Just my opinion, that's all. Just giving you my thoughts. Also, Truth, what's going on, brother? What's going on, dude? How you doing? Oh, Zuma, Jason the Zuma. At your pick, profile pick. It shows what's good with you. How you doing? So glad you're back on this Friday, afternoon. Again, it is still the champion. It's the championship rounds for the whole of the show. As we gotta do the shameless plug, like we always do. It's your time to shine and talk about whatever you want in the world of boxing and beyond, sports, movies, television, video games, all that stuff. Whatever you want, your takes, your opinions, your thoughts on anything involving the sports world with us currently reacting to right now. Wilder and USYK deals look to be nearly done, nearly complete, and that fight looks to be not just on the docket, but that fight looks to be very much on the table. Extremely on the table for what's going to happen. Just make it, just trying to make sure I can have any more updates on anything else in case news breaks at some point in time in the world of this Wilder saga. But for the whole of this conversation, we're talking about with Wilder, do you still believe in Wilder to be able to win? Do you think that the criticism against him has been unfair? Because there's a whole lot of ways and there's a whole lot of fans that do indeed love this man. A whole lot of people that Wilder was their superhero. Wilder was their Superman. Wilder was their, not just saving grace, he was their magnum opus of a fighter. The closest thing we got to the destructive nature of a Mike Tyson from the standpoint of, hey, we can guarantee somebody is putting everybody to sleep regardless of who they are. And it doesn't matter. There is a guaranteed one way that this fight can end and will end. It's by KO. It was him. It was him. It was him. Dramatic, dangerous, scary, terrifying at sometimes. What he was doing to his opponents. Built like a Greek god. The man had it all. Personality. He was enthralling. He could talk. He could go through and entertain. Put on a show in and outside the ring. He was, for some people, he was it. He was the heavyweight division for a lot of people for a number of years. And now, with this being a last opportunity for him to potentially have that fame of glory one more time, I guarantee you, there's a lot of people that are going to be like, hey man, we want you to win strictly because we need one more image of you at the top. I'm serious. Remember what he did to Berman in that second fight? Yes. The brother went through, stared him down as if he was a stinking villain. Like he was playing a part in a movie. I'm so serious. Like if you put that, where after the first knockdown in the first round, when Wilder stood up to Stavern and just stared him down, and Stavern didn't even move forward, but you could have put that same shot in Creed 2. And guess what? It would have fit perfectly. It was almost like a cinematic moment of dominance and power. Straight out of a script. The man went through and did a crossover before going in and knocking out Berman Stavern. Nearly lifted the ref off of his back. Lifted the ref off his feet with his back. Had the ref looking like an actual cape around Wilder's neck. Brother, you like that type savagery. You can't just teach. You can't just let. It's like that does something. That attaches to the fan base. That thing, it attaches to the aura, the identity. And man, I would love to see that come back again, but I just don't know. I just don't know, man. I just don't know if it can happen. I just don't know if it can happen. It's a shame. It's a real shame. Unless he goes and regroups and retools, and then hey, sure. But as of right now, it's very much Somewhat of a lofty goal, but let me keep on reading what you all. I gotta say, Sergio is dangerous fight for Pacheco. Oh yeah, yes, indeed, that fight is tomorrow. And Saturday we're gonna have some more time to discuss. I'm just trying to make sure I read everybody's chats on this Wilder situation first, and then go through and talk about the likes of Pacheco, Sergio, and all that stuff, and get your thoughts and opinions. Absolutely, because again, y'all still controlling the show, no question about it. Let me see, who's the worst referee for you in boxing? Hector Afu. If you didn't see yesterday, Hector Afu, the same brother that has ruined almost 3 of the 5 big fights I've seen him be a part of, that I can't stand for my life as a referee. I went on a full-blown tangent. I about broke a blood vessel. Got so hot and upset at that brother that I'm sick of him. Sick of him. Sick of him. Hector Afu, I am sick of you as a referee. I'm telling you right now, it's a problem, boy. It's a problem. It's a dangerous sentiment because it is such. I hate him as a ref. Can't stand him for my life. Wilder gave us a lot of moments. I was in the building when he flattened. Oh shoot, you in it when he Splicker. I call him Splicker because I can never know how to pronounce that Z. Or is it Splicker? And it was scary. Yeah, like you can't like you were scared for the opponent's livelihood. You were scared for the opponents and their well-being afterward. Brother, what he did to Robert Elanius. Legit people were thinking that this man might have actually died in the ring. Wilder was crying. Because he thought he might have irreversibly damaged Helenius for life. But like, I heard it pronounced Spilka. Okay, so Spilka. Okay, appreciate it. Thank you for helping me out with the enunciation. Sometimes all these names are beautiful, but it's just sometimes I struggle at times to say some of these more unique frameworks of spelling. But I am trying to make sure I'm doing it respectfully, doing it in the best way I can. But yeah, this is what he does. And Wild and Usyk can also feel that same type of power. It's just gonna be, hey man, how you going? What are you doing to prep for this fight? What are you doing to prep? What are you doing to prep for this fight? That's my biggest thing with Wilder. With us knowing what you're about to get into, I want to know what you're doing. I want to know who you're training with. I want to know what exactly you have put in place to make it so that you, as a fighter, can actually take what would be a last-ditch effort at glory and maximize it. Because this Usyk is just like what Joseph Parker did to Usyk, or just like what Joseph Parker did to the likes of Wilder, and make it tough and make it rough and make it so that he couldn't really get his footing on the front foot. Usyk's gonna do that same thing. He's gonna do the exact same thing and do it better. Cause he's a better fighter. And we can't say Usyk got the power to put you out. Wilder's tough. Wilder will take a beating. But Usyk's a full-fledged heavyweight now with the power of a heavyweight as well. So he'll be, like he'll be looking to push you back. How have you changed what you can be? That's the whole thing with Wilder. How has he changed what he can be? Because it's been the same story the last 3 fights, even in the Herndon fight. It's the same story. Hey man, you look out of your element you look like you're fighting outside of yourself. You don't look comfortable. You don't look at ease. You look very much on shaky ground with every step you take inside of the ring. And it's because you don't feel, well, rather, from an outside perspective, it looks to me because you ain't fighting in how you want to fight. Whenever I watch Wilder fight, it looks like he's trying to think hard about about the thing that he's not supposed to do. Like, you gotta focus in to make sure, remember not to do this, remember not to do this, remember not to do this. And that is that type of taxing mentality, instead of just thinking about what you need to do. It seems like it puts almost a hold on that trigger. It's like a restraining mental block that you can't, like you want to do something, but you're stiff and you're rigid, and it's not fluid, all because you're trying to think too much about making whatever you had in training work. When in actuality, the stuff in training right now isn't what's been working to make you a better you. It ain't. Again, I blame Malik Scott for a whole bunch of it. A whole bunch of it. Whole bunch of it. But it's also on Wilder. Because, like, you're trying to put yourself in a mold that ain't working. You're trying to put a round peg into a square hole. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's the thing. It doesn't work. Let me see. I agree. Talking about Hector Afu, he's the worst ref. I'm telling you, every time I see him, it makes my blood boil. Makes my blood boil. It is an international sport. Al Booker, you all right? I'm not trying to mess up the names. I'm trying to learn. I'm trying to learn how to say them. I'm trying to be more fluent in the international ways of verbiage, wordage, and letterage, so I can make sure I'm more, able to reach as many people as I can. And I want to make sure I try to say names correctly if I can. Also, let me see, Justin, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. Wilder gonna sleep. He might get knocked out. Might get knocked. It could be that we see this fight go the distance and he stays up, because it takes a lot of damage. It takes a lot of damage to keep Deontay Wilder down. It takes a whole bunch of damage to keep that brother down. That's the one thing I've never questioned. I've never questioned his heart. I've never questioned his drive. Never questioned his willingness, his relentless nature, his outright belief that I will get the job done. You will never hear me ever go against that framework of identity with Deontay Wilder and say this man is not built to be a fighter. This man is weak. I will never say that. I don't care if he gets knocked out or not. That just is not true. That's not true. It's not true at all. It's everything else that I have concern with. It's not the fortitude of the man. It is the style of the man. Then I'm like, you're gonna have to be that version, or you're gonna go and have a bad time. That old Wild, you're gonna have to be that reckless, wild, unpredictable. Yet you know what's coming. You're gonna have to be like that, because if you don't, it's gonna be. Let me see. I agree. Agreed. He's a bit lost. Been a bit lost ever since he sacked Wheeler, and that's the point I was trying to make earlier. I forgot what I was gonna say. You just reminded me. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Because this is perfect. Wilder messed up when he let Mark Breland go, because there's not been anybody in the boxing regime that has had the ability to go and speak not just to Wilder as a fighter, but speak to Wilder as a essence of power, as a source of almost superhuman ability. Speak to the engine driving the man. Being able to when Wilder was one in the same with his style and his confidence, everything about Wilder clicked in a way that it wasn't clicking with other heavyweights. It wasn't. You can say it didn't work. You can say he still wasn't a great boxer. All that's fine. It clicked. There was a visible difference in Wilder and his straight up movement, his mentality, his ability, and his execution that was different from everybody else in the heavyweight world at that point in time. It was different than Tyson Fury. It was different than Anthony Joshua. It's different from anybody. Didn't matter who. Different from Derek Chisora. Different from Dillian White. It was different. Not just because, oh, you knew the threat of power was coming. It was he was built and moved like no other fighter in the heavyweight division at that point in time. There was no other fighter that was able to, at 6'6" and 212, be able to essentially be a shoot. I'll be perfectly honest. If we want to compare it to basketball terms, this man was he was an anomaly. He was an anomaly. This brother was like Derrick Rose, John Morant. Skinny, very much for a world of big men. You might have the height, but you ain't got the weight on you. But you come through and all of a sudden you cleaning the house. You're stronger than everybody. You're quicker than everybody. You're longer than everybody. And you can take shots better than a lot of heavyweights today. And we can't keep up with you. He had that, and it all worked seamlessly. Then after Mark Whelan, everything just went to pot. Because you overcorrection on an issue is a thing that will be the demise of almost every fighter. Adding to your game and retooling is different from reinventing the wheel entirely. Malik Scott reinvented the wheel. Wilder himself let that happen. And didn't try to keep at least some of the things that Mark Whelan was doing in camp. And now we see a Wilder who we can't see him beat almost anybody in the top 15. And against USYK, it would be a different story if we saw those same vapors of greatness of his superhuman ability. Because I guarantee you, at that height, him being able to come through and close the gap on USYK would have been a great help. At that height, him being able to go through and just like with the crossover thing that he did with Burris to Burn, having the ability to just do as an athletic freak of nature, just do stuff in the ring that it may not look pretty, but my gosh, it's hard to read and it's hard to track. Throwing out the jab stiffer a little bit more, willing to throw that right hand with reckless abandon. That is where Wilder shined. That's the Wilder that pushed Fury to the brink. That's the Wilder that knocked down Fury 4 times. That's the Wilder that reigned 10 times in the heavyweight division or defended the championship 10 times in the division. That's the Wilder that needs to show up. Access that animalistic nature of your style again. Let yourself go. That's what I was trying to say. Let yourself go. You gotta let yourself go. That's the only way Wilder can be the Wilder that we think he can be. He's gotta let himself go. Caution to the wind in some regards. Your best defense is your offense and the threat of your power. So guess what? Throw that power every which way that you can. We see Wardley doing it, and we see how it's working out for him. You know why? Because he took it from you. Because you are indeed the originator. For today's generation, you're the one. Yeah, the sheer fear of you getting aggressive was enough to put somebody off on wanting to throw, opening up more windows for you to be able to do something. You have the ability to unlock that door one more time. One more time. One more time, but my gosh, you gotta pop the clutch. You have to. You gotta pop the clutch. Forget the footwork. Forget the ability to go and I'm gonna move around the ring. You look more comfortable when you were just winging it, bouncing around the ring, moving around the ring. let yourself go one more time, and you can have the best chance to be successful against Usyk. Not, man, I think it's gonna be bad. I think it's gonna be bad. But let me keep on reading what you all have to say. Wilder looking for one last miracle. He is. He absolutely is. Imagine Wilder knocks out Usyk. If he does, brother, the globe will explode. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. If he does, the globe will absolutely explode. It will explode. It will explode with the amount of fervor. Twitter is gonna be a mess in the best way possible. Everybody's going to be jumping up and down. Brother, people will be dancing in the street. I'm telling you, that's how big of a fan base Wilder's got. And we can finally get that Wilder versus AJ fight. It'll happen. It'll happen. That would be such a monumental win. That would be such a monumental win. That would be insane. If Wilder was able to beat Usyk. Oh, gosh, man. The scenes would be incredible. I'll be jumping up and down. Cause I'll be like, oh my gosh, he did it. He actually did it. Oh shoot. It will be reckless pandemonium. It will be reckless pandemonium. I always want to see it happen just to see what the fallout would be. I want to know what my reaction would be if that happened. Shoot. Wilder knocks out the pound for pound second best or best fighter in the world. The best heavyweight of this generation. With one more right hand. Potentially walks off into the sunset or keeps on, all of a sudden gets another prime. Who knows? All I know is, boy, that would be insane. That would be the biggest upset since Tyson versus Douglas and Wilder puts it off. Well, it wouldn't be that big. It wouldn't be that big. But Buster was nowhere close to championship level. Arguably not even top 20. Wilder is at least in that top 15 category of today's generation of heavyweights. And he was champion before. So, it's less shocking or less of an upset. But it would be still monumental. It would still be monumental. It would be absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. It would be the biggest shock in today's boxing history. I think the biggest shock is Ruiz versus AJ. I think that's the biggest shock. Would this fight be bigger of an upset? Would this fight be a bigger upset than Wilder or than AJ versus Ruiz? I'm struggling to say yes, because again, Ruiz was a very much outside of purist, unknown heavyweight at all. Part of the reason why Ruiz was brought into the fight when AJ was here in America for the first fight he had over here in the States to defend his belts was because it was to make AJ put on a show and get American audience to see, oh my gosh, what's going on. And that fight was 39-1 odds, something like that. I don't know if the odds, just by the proxy of the people who believe in Wilder, it ain't going to be that much. It's not going to be that drastic. But it would be one of the biggest. I'll put it up there as one of the biggest. I will put that fight up there as one of the biggest upsets we can see. I'm not going to say D, because this generation, it's still AJ versus Ruiz. But it would be almost assuredly top 3. It'll probably be top 3. It would probably be top 3. Because the absolute unnerved nature that we've seen Wilder be at, to be able to go and pull that off, would be insane. It would be insane. I slightly disagree about the reckless abandon. Wilder needs to get back to his delivery system, which is out of service at the moment. But in my opinion, and I get why you say that. I understand. My opinion, it is, how do I say this? It is intertwined that the delivery system and the reckless abandon are one and the same for Wilder when I see him fight at his best. In my reckless abandon, I'm saying the repetitiveness of throwing that straight right, the using his offense so fervently that the windmill style he'll get you in from time to time, that is what that delivery system works in. We've seen Wilder try to work in that same delivery system, the jab straight and all that stuff, in this current, more conservative, more responsible aspect in boxing that Wilder's been trying to take on and learn, and it's not working. There's a hitch in the trigger. There's a hesitancy when he tries to fully pull back the cock on the gun to be able to set it off. It's not the overcorrection of trying to become a great boxer has hindered the very nature in which Wilder can go through and deliver his patented system. But without those restraints of trying to be so responsible, all of a sudden, that delivery system becomes so much more effective. At least from what I've seen. That's why I'm saying Wilder at his best was never a great boxer. Wilder at his best was a brawler, slugger. That slugging nature made his offense so great. And from that confidence of being a slugger, he was a better fighter. He might not be able to box great, but the brother can fight. He can fight. That brother can fight with the... Nobody wants to get into a fight with Deontay Wilder. People want to make it a brawl. Nobody wanted to get into a fight with Deontay Wilder. Only person that was able to do it was indeed Tyson Fury. Only person that was able to do it was Tyson Fury. And that's not me saying that Usyk can't do it. That's me saying that it's only the top of the top. And Luis King Kong Ortiz, before he again got knocked out, that were able to do that. But right now, going forward and backwards, it ain't. That delivery system is stifled. It's jammed up because there's too much restraint. Which it sounds backwards to say, I know, but we're talking about Wilder. This ain't your average fighter. Being so technical is the worst thing for Wilder right now because he can't learn it. He can't do that. If he fought, look, think about it. Would he ever a better shot of beating Usyk if he fought like he fought against Luis Ortiz in the first fight, or if he fought like Hearn Dawn in the last fight that he won? Which one would he have more advantage with? The fight that he fought King Kong Luis in the first fight, or the fight that he fought Hearn Dawn with? It would be King Kong Luis Ortiz. It would be. Shoot, when he knocked out Washington, that fight would have a better chance at winning against Usyk than the likes of Hearn Dawn. Because you can't try to box with Usyk, especially if you have no way in the skill set. You got to go and at him with a sense of, all right, I got to, at least if you're Wilder, I can't just be so judicial and so dot my I's, cross my T's, because it's not me. And if I hesitate, Usyk's going to be able to land 3 punches, 4 punches on him and get out of dodge before they actually decide, okay, I'm going to throw. To a degree, I got to be first. And because of that, I got to take off. You know, I'm a video game fan, comic book fan, Shadow the Hedgehog. I got to take off the rings, pull off the restraints, let myself loose. Because if I don't, it's going to be guaranteed that I ain't got a shot. If he boxes with Usyk, he's going to be guaranteed that he loses. If he goes and does what he used to do, be a brawler, swarmer. Now we got ourselves a potential shot if we're going to make a way as to how he can win, at least in my estimation. We saw Windmill Wilder against Herndon. He definitely can't do that against Usyk. It wasn't Windmill. It wasn't Windmill Wilder up until like when he had him hurt. Like it wasn't Windmill Wilder in that fight where Herndon. Because I remember I watched that fight when I was at a family reunion. That fight with Herndon, he didn't turn into Windmill Wilder up until he went through and got Herndon hurt on the ropes, or seemingly hurt on the ropes. He didn't go reckless up until he was like, okay, boom, I caught you. Okay, now all of a sudden you saw the body language change. You saw the posture change. You saw his face change. You saw the energy in Wilder shift into what we used to see back in the day. Punches coming from everywhere, up, down, left, and right. With that fervor that we used to see, that angst on his face, that rage, that animosity, that comfortability, and I'm in my element. That's when he did that. But before that, he was trying to still box with him, throw out the jab and all that stuff, still trying to use some footwork, which again, it wasn't pretty. Instead of just letting himself be more of an offensive fighter. That's what I'm saying. Let yourself become Windmill Wilder more often. Because you're trying to box against Usyk, you're going to be forced on the back foot where we know you can't fight. You're going to have to go and just show some teeth at the jump. You're going to have to show some teeth first. You're going to have to. And thankfully, unlike Dubois, you got a very much longer reach, so you can afford to do that and potentially not get caught with that same hook. Potentially not get caught with that same hook early on, like we saw with Daniel Dubois. I said potentially. I still know it's incredibly likely because Usyk again is a bad brother, and I'm picking Usyk to knock him out. But even still, we're just talking about what he can do to win. He's gonna have to show some D, because if he doesn't, boy, it's gonna be bad. Let me see. Right, I just wanted to win for the pandemonium. I think a lot of people do. A lot of people do. Jean-Luc Wilder is currently ranked 44. Good gosh. Wait a minute.
Hey,
Oh, shoot.
shoot.
Wait a second.
We got some problems.
Wait a minute. Is that true? Is that true? Hold on. Wait a minute. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to lag behind. I'm not trying to lag behind with the chat. I do apologize. Good gosh. This brother is ranked 42 in the world. That is. Who's above him? Stephon, Sean, Dillian White, Jermaine Franklin, Huey Fury, Makhmudov, Luis Ortiz, even though I thought he retired actually already. Joe Joyce, who just lost to Derek Chisora, Frank Sanchez, Jared Anderson, Zilly Zhang. Zilly Zhang, Martin Bacoli, Hergovich, F.A. Ajagba, and then Lawrence Coley, Daniel Dubois. Okay. That, man, 44? 44, that, wow. Okay. My goodness. Shoot. You might be right. Maybe this will be a bigger upset. If he's falling that far from grace. But, shoot, man. That's insane. Wilder beating Usyk would be the biggest upset. And Andy versus AJ. I didn't realize he was that low. Yeah, you might actually be on something. You might actually be on something. I'll admit when I'm wrong. You might actually be on something if he does do that. That would be insane. I'll at least call it the greatest, the of today's generation. From a fall from grace. Definitely had to call it one one of the two best comebacks that we've seen. I would definitely call it that. And yeah, I would have to chalk it up. One of the biggest upsets that we got right now. It would be. It would be. Shoot, man. That's insane. Let me see. He wasn't reckless when he KO'd Spilza. Am I saying that right? I'm sorry. I thought I saw some news. My apologies. Spilza, what I like to call Brazil. Oh, but they used to do Fox Sports for boxing when they used to have boxing up there. In fact, I remember when he was on the panel, and then got knocked out after trying to hype up what he was going to do to Wilder on the panel in front of everybody on Fox. That was ridiculous. I remember that. But then Ortiz twice, and the latest, and it was, and let me paint a picture. Let me paint a better picture, because what it seems like it's being interpreted with it when I say reckless. I'm talking about from the jump, forget defense, fight like Anthony Joshua against Dubois, hands down, just looking for big shots and not doing. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is, when I'm watching Wilder in his style, Wilder is being too much of a cautious person for what maximizes his ability. When he goes through and fights in a manner where I'm first looking to put you down, not just as that's what I do, but with game plan wise, hey, I'm going to step on the gas. I'm going to be the person that goes through and looks to attack with intent. Not just doing stuff right, but that feeling in the ring. When they go in and, okay, something's coming, I better be wary. That the technique and all that stuff secondary. Though yes, he had it. It wasn't great, but he had it. He wasn't boxing going through and just yeah, sure. But it was a more willing style of, I'm gonna make you feel my power from the jump if I can. Rather than I'm trying to do everything right on a technical level as your first priority. The past couple days, when it comes to, or the past couple years, when it comes to Wilder, he's been trying to do everything technically right as the first priority in his game. And it hasn't been working. Now he's trying to find a way to shake that off and get back to that balance with the likes of Ortiz, with the likes of, more so, not even Robert Lanius, because even with Robert Lanius, he was doing the same thing of trying to fight defensively off the back foot and trying to counter and boom, tag you when you're trying to overreach. That wasn't necessarily his, being a counterpuncher was every part of Wilder's game. It worked. It worked because he got that type of power, but it wasn't that part of his game. It wasn't. What his game was, if it was the old Wilder, he would have gone through, pressed on Helenius, thrown out that jab, and been more willing to land some leather, long hooks, as Robert was trying to shell up, forcing Robert into the corner with a hook downstairs and then a 1-2 up top, trying to break through the guard. Looking for windows that he could go through and, okay, there's something here. Let me pull the guard. Boom, big shot. Boom, boom. Okay, now you're really shelling up. Now I got even bigger green light. Okay, let me work, and all that type of stuff. Yes, it worked that he knocked out Robert Lanius fighting backwards, and yes, he was being responsible. But we all of us saw that man was he was out of his element. I just want Wilder to fight in the element I see that he's most effective in. Yes, he is. I'm not saying he's going to go through and just all fight, pull a Berman Stavern, hands down, stare you down, and then bink. But have the aggression as your main priority first. That's why I always saw Wilder at his best. That's what I want him to do. Even against Ortiz in that first fight. He went through and he was trying to box with Ortiz as well. You know, it's just making it a close fight. Ortiz hurt him too. But he went in there with aggression as the first intent, and then everything else was secondary. Now aggression secondary, and all the technical stuff is the first thing. That's not where Wilder is able to be great at. He fought. Shoot, he tried to fight Fury in that what you call it? In that third fight with aggression. That was the last time I saw Wilder be Wilder like we used to see. Where it was like something gonna land. And it made for one of the greatest modern classic heavyweight fights that we've had in this generation's history. If not the greatest heavyweight fight that we've had in today's generation. That's what I'm saying when I say reckless abandon or caution to the wind. That priority of aggression first, technique second, rather than technique first and aggression second. At least from my perspective. Again, you ain't got to agree, but again, just in my opinion, that's how I see it goes through. He knocked down Tree all those times. They were calculated shots each time. They were, but it was. I'm not saying that Wilder doesn't think. I'm not saying Wilder doesn't think, but he was instinctual. Calculated stuff, but it was instinctual. The first knockdown, he caught Wilder finally with that uppercut when he ducked down, or rather with that hook scoop when he ducked down, and then in the 12th round, that setup of the shot that he's always able to land. Jab, and then through the straight. And what was it? Punch down. Knowing where Fury was going to go through. But he was trying to go and get him. Because he knew he had to. Then the third fight. What happened? Went through, got Fury backing up. And then landed the one, or rather, was backed up. Landed the 1-2 on Fury through the guard. Up, I gotta strike. I gotta change this thing. I gotta change my mode. I got to get aggressive. I can't be trying to box off this back foot. It's not working. I got to go. He keeps on closing the gaps. We got to stop this. Boom, boom, through the guard. Catches him, shakes his whole body up literally, and then knocks him down. Then gets in the clinch. They're fighting again. He goes through, the pawn shot to the side head, puts him down. And then for the rest of the fight, even though he was losing, it was so competitive because the whole time Wilder said, forget technique, but what am I going to do? Range and hold. Range and hold. The second an opening comes, boom. That's what we're going to throw. We're looking for it. We're going to spam the stuff. Because that's where he's best at. That's where he's best at. That's where, at least for me, in my opinion, that's where he's best at. And that's why I think it's going to be the best opportunity for you to see him win against the likes of Usyk, at least in my opinion. If Wilder learned some technical abilities, he would have been a problem. He would have. Really would have. He really would. He really would have. It's just a shame that he, one, started boxing a little bit late, but even two, he didn't prioritize. To some degree, he didn't need to. And so, he would have been great, especially with his physical gifts. But he was one of the hardest people to beat in the whole heavyweight division. Nobody had what Wilder had in terms of athletic ability. Oozing essence of power, speed, and limber versatility. He did have that. At 212. Ali even said it best, hey man, it ain't the big bulky people that you got to worry about. It's these slender, sleek folks. You gotta be scared because when they punch you, man, it's like a whip. Thing hurt. And it's quick. You gotta watch out for them. That's what Wilder was built like. And people couldn't do nothing with it. Even if they tried, they couldn't do nothing with it. Let me see. I'm not saying Wilder should try to box. He just needs to fix his delivery system. Okay, we can agree with that. We can agree with that. We can agree with it. If he fix his delivery system, it'll be all well and good. Tonight there was a good fight. There is Murtaugh versus Kawhi. Oh, wait, hold on. Didn't Pulev pop? Wait a minute, didn't Pulev pop dirty? Wait a second. No, don't clap for that. Hold on a minute. Wait a minute. I thought Pulev
We got some problems here.
had pop. Wait a second. Pulev. Wait a minute. Hold on. Is this right? Guess I'm wrong. Shoot, excuse me. I'm sorry. I thought, I promise you, I thought I saw that he had popped dirty somewhere. Might have been false information. Shoot, excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to push any narratives anyway. I legit thought that he had actually popped and he had gotten banned for something. I must have either a fake article or I read the wrong name. Either way, okay, fine. It's coming through. We're gonna see if Pulev can come back and beat again. Work its way to a championship win. Listen, everything said. What the odds you give Wilder? I'd say it's like 90-10 right now. Right now it's 95-5. Right now it's 95-5. I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest. It's 95% to 5%. It's 95% to 5% that I got Usyk win. Wilder again. I don't give Wilder anything but a puncher's chance because I don't know what Wilder's gonna be able to do. I just don't. I just don't know. I genuinely just don't know. I don't know what he's gonna be able to do what he's gonna be able to do to deal with the likes of Usyk as a boxer, as a fighter, as an angle-driven, slick type of dude. Don't let it be that he actually takes the power of Deontay Wilder. As we've seen him take clean shots from heavy hitters and keep on trucking somehow, some way, all of a sudden, brother, that's gonna be bad. That's gonna be bad. I don't give him a big shot, and I would like to give him bigger, but I don't know. And the worst thing is I don't know. I haven't seen anything to give me more confidence in what Wilder can be coming into this fight, unless we see in training camp. Or we see some training videos and all of a sudden we see him working on stuff that, okay, he should actually be working on. If I see that comfortability come back in him a little bit, we start seeing people, he's implemented a style that works better. And the delivery system looks like it's back to what it used to be, calibrated in some way, shape, or form. All right. Raised up a little, but right now, it's 95-5. It is 95-5. Because it's, oh boy, it's bad. Let me see. Ring walk is 3:45 Eastern. Oh, yeah, I'm trying to stream this while we also got a fight going on right Maxie putting on a boxing lesson. Look, y'all watching fights, and I'm trying to make sure. I got too many tabs up because I'm trying to make sure I can see my fights, or I can see the fight and my stuff. And shoot, y'all might have to update me on how the card's going. My gosh, hold on. Wait a minute. My goodness, I was trying to shoot. Do I got enough space on my thing to be able to do both? All three at the same time. Hopefully, I might just have to stick with what I know. I might just have to stick with what I know for now and just keep on trucking. Nonetheless, but even still, it's still the championship rounds. I forgot. I want to make sure I can still keep that going. I still want to make sure you all can go through and talk about whatever you want to discuss in the world of boxing and beyond. Like I said, we're not gonna go the 3-hour thing unless we keep on getting pushed up. We ain't going 3 hours tonight like we did last time. But I still want to make sure we give you an ample amount of show to witness and enjoy, as we still have you all's words and conversation driving the whole of what this show and what this sports world is going to be. I still want to hear your thoughts and opinions. I still want to hear your rhetoric on whatever you have in regards to the wider array and the wider landscape of the boxing world, with also in regards to the fight coming up on Saturday. What somebody put up, what you call it? Pacheco versus Seijo. Do want to make sure I touched on it because somebody did put that in the chat, and I want to make sure that we do at least talk about that fight in some way, shape, or form on today. Where's it at? Where's the chat? Somebody put it up here. I know I saw it. Here we go. Seijo is dangerous fight for Pacheco. So, hey, we can actually delve into this a little bit in regards to how this fight is going to go. Like I said, I'm giving y'all my thoughts. I strongly feel that we're going to see Diego Pacheco knock out the likes of Seijo. Strongly, I do. Strongly, I do. Strongly, I think we're going to see Pacheco beat and knock out the likes of Seijo. And again, I think Pacheco, he's just too much of a slick puncher for the likes of Pacheco to deal with, and for the ability, even though Seijo, or excuse me, Pacheco is too good of a calm and easygoing, surprisingly great defensive fighter who, while walking you down, can give you work with any hand, either shot, catch and counter, slight slips, good judging, to be able to keep distance, good 1-2. He's got everything I would want in a fighter. And Seijo, though he is incredibly strong, like I said, I think he's only had like 2 or 3 fights without ending in a knockout. Everything else has been straight up back here. Is it 33 fights that he's got? Or is it 24? I can't remember. Is it 24 or is it 33? Let me look back and make sure I can see it and tell it correctly. Let me pull the records up real quick so I can make sure that I got everything correct. So I'm not giving y'all any false information. So yeah, 26 KOs, or 26 wins, 23 KOs. Hey, this cat can punch in a dangerous way. Can end your night early with either hand. But it's gonna be too much of a qualitative showing for the likes of Pacheco. Now, I think it's gonna be just I think he's gonna make it look easy. That's me. Yeah, again, a little bit of bias to be clear. There's some bias there. There is some bias there. I am a Pacheco fan, just so you know, which we're not getting people saying, this brother is what is he talking about? Hey, I'll say from the top of my lungs, yeah, I'm a Pacheco guy. I'm a Pacheco fan. Ever since I saw him fight like up to a year ago, I love the way that he fought. I love the way he goes about his work. I love the way that he goes and is, again, it's not just being calm. It is the aspects of being oh so smooth with the work that he does. As a fighter, I just fell in love with him. But in reality, that against Seijo, though Seijo can put some great work, man, I don't think we're gonna see anything less than an absolute great, fluid performance, beautiful performance, a paintbrush of a performance for Pacheco going up against Seijo, at least in my humble opinion. But let me see what you got to say on today. I got Seijo for the. You do? Really? Huh? Now I want to hear as to what. Wait a minute. Now I want to hear as to what. I would love to hear as to why. Unless it's just you got money on the line, which, hey, if that's the case, then hey, you do you, and get your bag. And get your bag, get your money, absolutely, if that's where you're trying to go. But like I said, I am a little bit biased. I will admit. I just really want to see Pacheco get to the upper tiers of super middleweight so we can get those fights. Potentially with Hazard Shiraz, potentially with Canelo's, and with the other big time deals in the super middleweight division. I believe he is super middleweight. Let me make sure. Let me make sure he is super middleweight. I do want to make sure that I have that correct. We got people moving up and down so much I be getting confused from time to time. Okay, yeah, super middleweight. I just had to make sure he was super middleweight. And so, but let me keep on reading. Haven't seen Sejo is coming. He's like in Billy. Yeah, no, he is. Haven't seen Sejo. Heard he's physical. What does Lily do as a fighter? He's physical. He's physical. That man is relentless. That man, if you watched in Billy versus Martinez, that's very much akin. It's not 1-to-1 comparison, but that's akin to kind of how we see Sejo fight. But he got muscles out of his ears. He's incredibly strong. He'll fight like a pit bull. He'll be relentless. He will chase you down. He will use his power. He will try to control you with his physical capacity in the clinch and on the inside. And he will make sure, or at least attempt to make sure, that he closes that distance as much as possible because he wants to put in work. He wants to put in some work. He wants to do some real work. So he isn't a pushover. It's coupled with it's volume and power. Kind of more so in this case than getting power because he when I say he's strong, I'm not. That's not me trying just to be a fluke. It's real. But he will look to some degree wear you down, and some degree straight up just put you to sleep. One punch that causes big damage, and the fall comes into play. He is a hard out for anybody. He's a hard out for anybody. Shoot, I'm surprised that Billy and Sejo haven't fought each other yet in their stint at super middleweight. I'm surprised. Yes, I know Billy has been, interim champ, looking to fight for a championship right now against Hamzat Shiraz for a whole situation of caliber. Looking to fight Hamzat Shiraz for the full WBC title. Understandable because he got relinquished by, Terrence Crawford got stripped because he wasn't paying the fees, all that stuff. It is shocking to me that we haven't seen them in Billy and Sejo, though we know the rankings aren't, it's not as close. It's like, I know he's in the top 8. At least I think he's in that top 12 minimum. In terms of Sejo, either way, I would have loved to see that fight happen between Sejo and Billy. If we get it, it might be after this fight with Diego Pacheco if he can win. But Billy and Sejo, somewhat the same guy. Similar people. In terms of stylistically. Boy, it makes for an exciting fight. It does. It makes for an entertaining fight. It does. But boy, it would be so good. Let me see. And Billy was to fight Sejo. And Sejo's team wanted to be, but Billy pulled out. Now see, I didn't know that. Wait a minute. I didn't know that. I was not aware of that. So they were gonna fight each other. And Sejo's team had won the bid to get the fight, but it was in Billy that pulled out. Okay, all right. Well, that brings a new breed of our conversation into the mix. Brings a new breed of conversation to the mix now. Now, I believe, actually, let me look this up real quick, because if this is the timeline, let me see. Wow. So, when Billy ducked the fade with Sejo and curved the rematch with Martinez, it ain't looking great. It ain't looking great. It ain't looking great right now for the likes of Billy from the standpoint of looking at him with all these other fights that we thought should have happened. We thought should have taken place, that we thought legit should have gone through and you know, come to fruition. Especially that fight with Martinez. I'm still hot. Even though I know he's getting a championship opportunity with Hamzat Shiraz, I'm still hot that that fight did not happen between Billy and Martinez in a rematch yet again. I'm hot. I was upset. Because not because of the championship opportunity, but like it should have. It made all sense in the world. Though I get the opportunity, but my gosh. So this it ain't a great look. The Martinez thing I get and I understand. But now with Sejo as well, it's like it's a concern. And Billy ducked Sejo and tried to fight Pacheco for WBC interim title, but Pacheco pulled out of negotiations. So wait, okay, hold on, hold on, time out, hold on. So and Billy fought. Hold on a minute. So and Billy and Sejo were supposed to fight. Sejo won the bid, and then Billy pulled out of the fight. Cool. Then Pacheco and then Billy were going to fight each other. But Pacheco pulled out of the fight. Am I reading that right? And Billy didn't fight Sejo. And then Billy was going to fight Pacheco. But Pacheco pulled out of the fight with Billy. After Billy had pulled out of the fight with Sejo. And Pacheco's opportunity with Billy would have been for the interim title, which would have put him in position, if he had won, to fight Hamzat Shiraz now for the full-blown championship. Is that what happened? Yep, that's how Billy ended up fight Sulik or Sulik for the vacant WBC interim. It was supposed to be Pacheco. What? Oh, no way. No way. Dang it, man. Oh my gosh. That would have been such a good fight. Oh. So it's just bad all around, apparently. It just seems like it's bad all around. It just seems like it's bad everywhere. Everybody's avoiding everybody. What the world? What in the world? What? So I would assume that after, or rather, let me read this shit. Pacheco beat Sulik, or excuse me, Pacheco beat Sulky right before Billy fought him. So, okay, so let me make sure I got this right. Billy and Pacheco were going to fight. No, and Billy and Sejo were going to fight. Sejo won, Billy pulled out. Billy and Pacheco were going to fight. But Pacheco pulled out of the fight for the interim belts. And the Pacheco beat Sulky right before Billy fought Sulky for the interim belt. So Pacheco had already earned his shot at interim title by beating the dude that Billy then beat to get the interim championship. Why did you not just take the interim title shot if you had earned it? Am I following it? I'm trying to make sure I'm following this correctly. Because that sounds, I'm not gonna lie. I am not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I get that you may need to grow as a fighter. You may need to go through it and move accordingly. But at something like that, shoot. That don't sound good at all. That sound like a duck. That sound a little bit like a duck a little bit. I can't lie. I can't lie, that don't sound great. That don't sound great. Also, Mr. Miyagi, how you doing? Hey, brother, thank you for tuning into the show with the 10 euro super chat. Going through, I appreciate it. I love it. I love it. Support it. Absolutely. It's been a phenomenal time. Salute Jean-Luc Welch. I like the Wilder fight. It's interesting, but as a fan that enjoys the sports aspect of boxing, I think it's a joke that the three long waiting challengers are not getting a look in, or are not getting a look, but I get it. And that's what we've been talking about for a lot of this conversation with the likes of Wilder. The business side makes sense, but it's unfair regardless, because we know that, again, before that it was Joseph Parker. Now it's Fabio Worley. Don't forget the WBC and IBF and all those other, not IBF, WBC, WBA, WBO champs who are supposed to be ranked number one. They ain't. Where's their shot? Most of the time, literally waiting in the rings. I think he's ranked number one in one of the under belt positions. I forget which one. He's like top 5 in a lot of them. These people should get their opportunities, but Al Booger and others will point out, hey, they don't draw. AJ Caballero doesn't draw like that. It's a low risk, high reward type situation. Fabio Worley, does he draw like a Wilder? No. Does he get the same grandeur like a Wilder? No. Do any of them? No. And it's not their fault. It's just where Wilder was able to position himself and the reputation that he garnered. Yeah, he's going to bring bank. He's going to bring major bank. But it doesn't do any more justice to not be like, it's a problem. To not be like, dang, it's an issue. Because the one thing I don't like, and a little bit of a tangent. Like I said earlier, the one thing I don't like about the world of boxing in general is that when people start getting looked over when they shouldn't, it can start a domino effect where we run into another Tyson Fury situation where he's fighting Wilder but never actually fights the guy that's supposed to get in the ring with him, unless it's for a certain amount of money. Now, I'm not saying that Usyk is doing that. Be clear. I'm not saying that Usyk is going to operate in that same vein. I'm not saying that in the slightest. Be clear on that. I am not saying that at all. But what I am saying is that I'm trying to keep a regimented situation where, like, again, there's some stuff that just shouldn't happen yet from a boxing standpoint if we want this sport to keep on being what it needs to be. And we want that to take place. Some stuff for the betterment of the sport might not be the best advantageous or best advantage point to take, even though monetarily and even for legacy, I get them on my resume. Okay, fine. But you had ... You could have had anywhere in the UK with Fabio Worley. Great bank, good name, great name. Big risk, yes, but would have handled you been. Then you could fight him afterwards. I'm just saying fight Wilder after. That was my whole thing was fight Wilder after. Don't fight him now. And we just found out Wilder, at least according to BoxRec, is the 44th ranked fighter in the world at heavyweight. And you know what's crazy? In America, he's the 8th best fighter in the country per BoxRec. He's 44th in the world, but he's the 8th best fighter in the States, according to BoxRec. That is highly problematic for this nation when it comes to us having a heavyweight contender. I'm not saying we got to win. I'm just saying we just need to, good gosh, we need somebody there. Richard Torres, I do hope that you live up to the hype that I don't think that you're going to get to. Because my gosh, man, it's a barren wasteland out here. It really is. But that's a whole other conversation. The main point is, the man is 44th in the world. He's right above David Adelaide. We're dealing with a situation where, but that should not be the case of how boxing works. Where you get that type of shot. You haven't even done the consistent work to upkeep the very legacy that's keeping you be so lucrative. To be able to skip the line like this. Again, the only people that we've seen to have the luxury that we can say, yep, he deserves that opportunity. He can skip the line like that is Canelo. Or Inoue. Or Terrence Crawford. Or Usyk. That's it. That's about it. To skip the line, that's about all there is. And so, I get you. It ain't fair. From the boxing aspect, it ain't fair at all that we're seeing the likes of Wilder be able to throw their weight around when in a boxing sense, but you haven't had weight in the last 3 years. You lost to Joseph Parker, Big Bang Jang, and you beat Herndon, absolutely, but it wasn't in a, oh my gosh, type situation. So I'm like, shoot, man. I feel for him. I really do. I really do. I tell you, I really do. And he's, again, because now he's putting Wardley in the very same position that Joseph Parker was in. Where Usyk was taking on test after test after test, understandable. Joseph Parker kept on waiting in the rings, defending his belts. Now Wardley gets a shot. Wardley wins the interim belt. Wardley gets elevated, and then now he is up. I want Usyk. Well, Usyk's doing something else. Again, the same carousel of somebody deserving didn't get what they should have got. The cycle continues. That's all I want. Just stop the cycle, at least for this fight. Then afterwards, sure, go fight Wilder. Fine. No problem. No issue there. My thing is just the timing with what was already in place and what would have been still very lucrative. It would have been even better to give Wilder more time to actually become a better fighter. Give him more time to get another fight in the ring. If he gets another knockout performance that looks better than he did against Herndon, okay. Now when you fight him after Wardley, if you beat him, all of a sudden that fight gets even bigger. Does it not? And it could happen down in Alabama. Right here. For major payday. People already want to see Usyk in the U.S. People love to see Deontay Wilder. Wouldn't that just be a thing? Wouldn't it just be a grand old time? Wilder versus Usyk? Off of 2 Wilder KOs and an Usyk defense down in Alabama at Alabama University Stadium or anywhere for that matter in the state. Hometown hero versus one of the greatest we've ever seen in the heavyweight world. Meeting down south, like, and if it is a last hurrah, what a send-off. If he wins, oh gosh, the moment gets even bigger. It happened. It happened, to quote Jim Lampley, excuse me. When George Foreman won the title against Michael Moore. We couldn't believe it. We were shocked and all. All of that could have happened if he just beat Wardley first. Then win. Fight Wilder. Tune up with more pomp and circumstance that could give Wilder more time to get a more exciting fight. From a boxing perspective, that's how I feel. But again, I get the money. Good gosh. Lord knows I understand the money, absolutely. Let me see. Also, Miss Queen, how you doing? Hey, good to see you. Thank you for tuning into the show with us on today. So glad you're here with us, joining in on the live. We appreciate you so much. Let me see what you got to say. Let me see. Mr. John, how you doing? Good to see you. Bossman, if Wilder loses again, does that mean he can never be Hall of Fame? Ooh, no. Now that is not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Wilder is a Hall of Fame. Wilder is going to be in the Hall of Fame. I can promise you. Most likely I could see him being first ballot. You know why? Because he broke Muhammad Ali's title or consecutive reign record with 10 title defenses straight. In today's heavyweight landscape, and again, it wasn't as populous in quality talent. I understand. But still, he carried the heavyweight division on his, one of the big carriers of the heavyweight division on his back. He put up a entertainment value, no question is there. One of the greatest knockout artists we've ever seen. Was reigning as a champion for multiple years. Step in line with Anthony Joshua, though Anthony was the big face. And put on one of the greatest trilogies of the modern day in boxing, turning into one of the greatest rivalries that we've had in heavyweight history. It's the truth. I'm not saying it's Ali Frazier, but I'm saying it is one of the best. And it produced a phenomenal array of talent. The draw of the first fight, again, I thought Tyson Fury won, but still, the draw of the first fight that ended in an incredible moment of Tyson Fury getting up twice, but especially in that second knockdown, like The Undertaker, insane. Then coming through second fight, Tyson Fury revamps his style and dominates Wilder. Wilder packs on muscle for that third fight and then comes in and they both go to war in what is, for my money, the greatest modern day heavyweight fight that we've ever seen. The greatest modern day heavyweight fight. Modern day. This generation heavyweight fight we've ever seen. Capping off a trilogy and etched in stone. A timeline in sport where it's unavoidable. It's incredible. It etched both of their legacies, even in the loss. That is what Wilder is. A dominating, fearful warrior. Or a dominating, fear-mongering warrior. Bomb Squad still echoes through the halls of Alabama. Even with these losses, it doesn't negate him from getting into the hall. I promise you that. It doesn't. If he loses, okay, he lost to Usyk. So did 24 other people. So did Tyson Fury, twice. And Anthony Joshua, twice. And we know Anthony Joshua's going into the Hall of Fame. We know Fury's going to go into the Hall of Fame. And we watch, Derek Chisora is most likely going to get into the Hall of Fame. So, well, at least he got an argument for it. So if he's got an argument for it, I can promise you, even with a loss, especially since it's too Usyk, like we would get it. Yeah, he's going into the Hall. He's absolutely going into the Hall of Fame. I would not be able to. I don't think you could tell today's heavyweight story of this generation is getting ready to come to an end of boxing with the heavyweight division without Wilder being in the very midst of that whole saga. You couldn't. And so I think he deserves to be in the Hall. Let me see. Roundhouse Club, what's going on with you? How you doing? Good to see you. Thank you for tuning in to the show with us on today. Excuse me. Let me see what you got to say as we're going through the whole of the show. They say the last thing a fighter loses is his punching power. Wilder could win, but it's doubtful. And yes, he could knock him out. And you know why? Because Usyk got hurt by Daniel Dubois to the body, by Tyson Fury to the body, and he got rocked by Tyson Fury with the uppercut to the head. They wasn't able to see coming off of that link. Now, I'm not saying that Wilder's going to be able to land those same shots, but I am saying if he does, there is a hope and good possibility that, yeah, he can rock him and hurt him. We know he's got the power to do it. We know he's got the ability in both hands to do it. With the puncher's chance with Wilder, as much as we may say it's not it is a slim goal, for Wilder it's a huge window because, again, it's Deontay Wilder. That one shot, even though we may say he fights like a bronze statue nowadays more than ever, that thing still is the greatest threat to any man walking the earth in the boxing ring. If you get caught by that right hand, wrong. Joseph Parker was skinning the cat when he was fighting against the likes of Deontay Wilder because of the fact that, hey man, all it took for that right hand to land right flush, Parker could have been eating the canvas. He could have been eating the cameras quick. And so it's Wilder's delivery system and his execution of that style, rather of that right hand, of that power, that we don't know what it's going to be like if we seen it with the other fights of recent. It's doubtful, but it still is prevalent. It's still prevalent, and it can still happen. It can't. Cause trust me, I'm not betting against Wilder's right hand not being able to do something serious if it does land flush. Can he land it? That's the question. I just don't know. Wilder tied Ali with 10 defenses. He was supposed to pass Ali in Fury 1. Never quite passed him. He never passed him. He never passed him. And I'm not saying that the talent that Wilder faced during those 10 title defenses was completely, oh my gosh. But also at that point in time, the heavyweight division wasn't really as deep with talent and threat level. It just wasn't. Again, we called it, I was telling you this, saying this back then, it still bodes true. It was a weaker division of heavyweight dominance. Especially with Klitschko gone and then Tyson Fury retired for a couple years. AJ was still beating, Dillian White and Pulev and all them. Sure, absolutely. But it wasn't like, it wasn't like 154. Especially wasn't like what we see 154 now, where there's a bunch of big names, or like the even the 90s in boxing, and the 80s and 70s and so on with the heavyweight division. Yeah, I get it. I don't hold that against them. I don't. We provide context so people don't try to overblow it as to, oh my gosh, this brother was beating the equivalent of Ken Norton, Ali, and Joe Frazier all at the same time. In Wilder's era, that just isn't the case. But it was indeed one of the three kings of that division. Was. And he if Fury hadn't been able to get up from that first knockdown, he would have gotten him. He would have beaten Ali. He would have beaten him. And so, and mind you, he did beat some great names. The best names on his resume are Tyson Fury and King Kong Luis Ortiz. At that point in time, Luis Ortiz was being avoided by a whole bunch of people. Nobody wanted that type of stuff. If you think Sanchez is a problem in the heavyweight division now, but King Kong Luis Ortiz would have beaten up Sanchez. That brother had dominant power with insane footwork, and as a southpaw was slick and smart. That brother was that man was an issue, and he was 300 pounds at like 6'3" or 290. He was a big dude, a huge dude with quick hands to boot. That man had a bunch of problems that nobody wanted to deal with. Why he got aged out until he was like 38. Or whenever we finally fought Wilder, and Wilder actually gave him two chances to fight him. I can't speak against that. I know what Luis was at that point in time. I was in college when that fight happened, when both of those fights happened. Yeah, hey, brother, that was exciting. In terms of that matchup, that was dangerous. That was dangerous. Let's see, Maxie putting belt. Good gosh, Maxie. But I need to, hold on. Let me see if I can pull up this fight with Maxie. Wait a minute. Wait 1 second. Hold on a minute. Wait 1 minute. Hold on now. Y'all watching all these fights. Y'all got all this stuff going on the way, and I am here just trying to talk and do a show. I need to make sure I can actually keep up to date with some of this. I wasn't planning on calling the card on today, and I'm trying to save my voice in some degree, at least if I can make it tomorrow. But like, shoot, I'm probably gonna have to catch the highlights of that fight because I'm too much of a flow. Also, real quick, quickly switching gears.
At the main event, stare down
ever so quickly switching gears. Ever so quickly switching gears. This is also why I am saying that Pacheco is a dangerous problem. Oh, it's on YouTube. Oh, I didn't know it was on YouTube. Oh, shoot. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. If it's on YouTube, okay, wait a minute. Hold on. I didn't know it was on YouTube. I thought it was on a separate pay-per-view situation. Hold on a minute. Wait a second. I might actually be able to watch it. while I'm doing this show. Shoot, I might be able to be along for the ride with y'all. Wait a second, let me find it. Also, while I'm looking for this, I'm gonna pull double duty and also show up with this no, that ain't. Oh no, that ain't it. See, y'all get me, y'all making me do all this other stuff. Y'all make me do everything under the sun. Lord knows. Lord knows. No way. No way! What? Are you kidding me? Can I not watch it? Can I not watch it? It's currently saying Uploader has not made this video available in your country. So apparently, we got banned. Apparently, I got banned. Hey. Apparently, America can't watch the fight. Because every time I click it, it keeps saying, essentially, your Uploader has not made it available in your country to see. Oh, gosh. What did we do? Lord knows. That's a shame. Shoot. I would have watched it with y'all. Doggone it. Either way, we're still gonna keep stuff going. We ain't gonna let it go. We ain't gonna feel no type of way. We're gonna keep rocking and we're gonna keep rolling. And what we're also gonna do is watch what I wanted to show you with the stare down. If you haven't seen Pacheco and Sejo, just to give you a perspective as to how exactly the difference in height this fight is.
As we take a look.
And my gosh,
the main event stare down, Diego Pacheco.
An 8-inch size advantage.
That's
Diego
ridiculous.
Pacheco coming into this fight, huge reach advantage.
That's ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
A basketball team, it would be the power forward against the point guard out there. But Kevin Saggio is not coming just to survive.
Brother, look at it. Look at this. Look at this again. Pacheco is 6'4" at 160. He could come into this fight at He could come into this fight and shoot. Potentially, if he comes in even more, rehydrates and whatnot, 175. He can get that big. He can get that big. So it's like it's. Tell you, man, this dude's a freaking nature. Look at what Sejo was saying to Pacheco. What was it? What did he say it in this clip?
12 rounds.
Stare down, Diego
Does he say it in this clip? Does he say anything in this clip?
This fight, huge reach advantage as well. If this was a basketball team, it would be the power forward against the point guard.
Looking deathly intent. He to get that camera in focus. What did he say?
Rounds against Diego Pacheco. He wants to win and put himself.
I'm trying to find. Did he say something? Let me see. Kevin says he's never seen anything like Diego Pacheco. Pacheco's on words. It's probably gonna be here on Matchroom. Let me see if I can pull up what exactly he said in regards to Pacheco and Sejo. Also, hey, look, this fight, Navarrete versus Nunez, it's on sale now. This is gonna be a featherweight. This is gonna be a good one. And this this cat, Navarrete, is a monster. He's a monster. He's a monster. But let me see. What did he say? Excuse me. Never mind. Excuse me. Okay. Well, I guess we found out what he said. Right here, right now, for you all to be able to. Alpha love. Hey, the height difference is insane, but the confidence of Sejo is just as dominant. As you can see here, with them staring eye to eye with each other, staring in face to face with each other. Viewer discretion is advised. I apologize for the language. Let's listen to what Sejo had to say against the likes of Pacheco.
¿Comprende? Mañana tú veo mañana. Es una grande puta. ¿Comprende? No problema. Mañana vemos mañana. Vemos sábado. Tú no corres. Sábado tú es my bitch.
Woo! Hey, man. Say, Joe. Boy, I'm going to tell you this. Say, Joe, better be careful when he comes in trying to fight against Pacheco. Because he talking this talk now, and I don't doubt he's going to try to back it up. I guarantee it. But what I also am concerned about, this cat, he going to come in and he going to really be open to some heavy-handed counters that he won't be able to see coming. Specifically, I'm talking about that uppercut from Diego Pacheco when Sato tries to come in and attack the body. I am concerned that if Pacheco does see that as an opportunity, he will take it, and boy, Sato's going to feel it. He going to feel it, man. And all that talk is going to shut up real quick. It'll shut up real quick if he ain't careful. It will shut up incredibly quick if he is not careful in that regard. And again, thank you for telling me about Matchroom posted. It kind of helped to streamline my ability to find the clip. But look, Pacheco is like he with Sergio trying to get into his head. And also, I don't think he wrote those lines. I mean, it kind of fits into. I mean, it ain't from him being an aggressive, very much like close quarters type of fighter. It's pretty good for the standpoint of it fits what he is or fits what he would do. It's at least to me, it'll make sense. I don't think that they wrote them those words, because also he can't be like if they did write him, but he took them to heart. If they wrote him that he took them to heart. He took them to heart, but that wasn't some. That didn't feel like it was some scripted stuff. That buddy was sounded legit. Felt like, okay, hey, look, you keep on talking like you think you're gonna talk. I'm gonna run you into the ground with all belief in this system. I guarantee this how he's gonna fight. I promise you this how he's gonna fight. He's gonna try to look to attack the body. He's gonna try to chop down that tree. He's gonna try to come in fervently to mitigate that height discrepancy and that length of Diego Pacheco. But as we know with Pacheco, he will come through and he will go. And he can snipe you. He can snipe you. He can snipe you quick with some very good shots. And if Sergio gets too desperate, might not be the right word, but it's the only word I can think of. If Sergio gets too desperate against Pacheco, trying to go and close that gap, it's gonna be night. It's gonna be night, man. It's gonna be night. It's gonna be night. It's sleep tight. It's gonna be night because he gonna put him down. He gonna put him down the bad way. At least in my opinion, that's what I see. Let me see, Mr. Miyagi, how you finding Jiu-Jitsu Kaisen Season 2? I'm finding it great, but I have a confession. I got a confession.
We got some problems here.
I think I have to restart watching Season 2 because I went and I was watching it, and I was watching it late at night. And so I think after like episode 3, I went and I fell asleep and I woke up and it was like episode 5 or 6. And I have missed a lot. So I got to kind of, and when I woke up in the middle, I was like, wait, hold on, I missed something. Why is he here? Did I miss something at the first 2 episodes? Because I know I was awake for those. What happened? So I got to go and I got to like restart my binge watch, which again is great because the show's phenomenal. Be clear, the show's incredible. Show is great. But but because of my stubbornness trying to stay up, I have put myself into a hole where I gotta backtrack and I gotta find out. I gotta reset myself in the story. Cause that's my fault. Hey, look, that's my fault. Like I said, I'm trying to do a lot of stuff, and I'm trying to make sure I still keep up with my anime. And so I'm trying to play the game, y'all. And this is why I'm up till 4 in the morning. I'm 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, however late I lose track of time is nothing to me. When it comes to watching the show, I just fall asleep when I do, and Lord knows I shouldn't have this time. So I'm about to look. I'm rewatch. I'm starting. I don't want to have to start over, but I might have to start over just because I'm like incredibly confused in some regards, because my own volition of trying to will myself to stay up because I was really wanting to see it. And it backfired. It backfired heavily. I'm not even going to say that I'm not young. I'm still young, be clear. But my body also knows when it needs to, like my pop said it best. If your body's going to tell you, if your body needs some sleep, it's going to sleep. I don't care if you want to or not. It's going to sleep. It's going to do what it's going to do, regardless of whether you want it to. And I tried to make it not happen. And Lord knows. Lord knows. I have messed up. So I'm going to have to go. I'm going to go and start back. I'm probably going to start from, just to be safe, I'm going to start from probably episode 2 and then go on through. Because after 3, I went in. It became a blip in time. It felt like I got doggone, what's the word? Snapped. Like with Thanos. Because I know I was watching. I know I was watching a fight scene. Next thing you know, the scene completely shifts, and I completely have no recollection of how I got from that to that. And it's bad. It was bad. So I'm a in the day, I'm a finish off season 3. But I am enjoying it. It's a phenomenal show. And I'm so glad that you told me to watch the movies before I watched season 1. Then I finished season 1 going into season 2. It worked out perfectly. Thank you so much. And so, yes, but like I said, the body has messed me up. So I got to go back and recalibrate. But let me see. Pacheco, power ain't elite, though. It's not that it's not elite. I'm not saying, now it is good now. I'm not saying it's again, he got 18 KOs in 23 fights. That's kind of, I don't know, how close to elite do you have to be before you can say that, yeah, somebody got some legit power? Because I believe his record is 23-0, or Pacheco is 23 or 22-0 with about 18 KOs on his resume. So I don't know if that's not elite. That's at least good to great. Hey, I'm sorry, he's 24-0, 18 KOs. His last 2 fights have been by unanimous decision. Understandable. I get that. But for everything else, now granted, he was facing off against Trevor McCumbee, and Trevor McCumbee is the buddy who went up against Caleb Plant, and Trevor McCumbee was giving Caleb Plant a bunch of trouble, punching that brother through his guard across the ring onto the floor, had that man out at one point in time, cold. So McCumbee, though he is incredibly not refined, he does give a whole lot of people some trouble. At least the upper echelon of the 168-pound division. I will say that, but even still. He's been able to put people down in a real way, and upwards of, again, outside of the last 2 unanimous decisions, he's got enough power. If you ain't say it's elite, I would at least say that it is borderline great, from the standpoint of in every punch. You will feel it. Every punch, it will sting, and especially if he gets momentum going. Like, you can't last in there with him if he's throwing bows in a groove. Like, you can't. And more likely than not, he will hurt, stun, and or rock the opponent that he's facing. Even if it doesn't end in KO. It'll happen. He'll cut him up and bruise him. He'll do some damage. He will do some damage. He will. So if you say it's not elite, that's perfectly fine. But it is borderline great. if not of a really good quality, that Seijo, again, better not take lightly, or else it'll be a problem. And what if Pacheco chin can't hold it? Now that's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole nother conversation. If we see Pacheco get caught flush and all of a sudden he gets on shaky legs, hey, but that tree may start to fall. That tree may start to fall. That tree may start to fall in a bad way. I kid you not. That tree may start to fall in a bad way because of the fact that, you know what I mean, to be real, in all actuality, Seijo is a great finisher. Seijo is a great finisher. He is a great finisher. Not just because of his resume. If you see the way at which he goes through and fights, like it's built to be able to say, if I get you hurt, most likely you're going down. Don't forget the last fight was it against Joe? No, it wasn't against Joe. Was it against Joe Cordina? Was it? It was against Joe Cordina, correct? His last fight? No, I'm sorry. It wasn't Joe Cordina. It was Martin, granted, not really a highly rated fighter. But Martin, is it Bulaki? I think it's Martin Bulaki. Made him retire on the stool. And he's had upwards of 1, 2, 3 KOs beforehand. And he's been able to finish people in quick succession. I'm talking about 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 3 rounds, 4 rounds, 8 rounds. Retired on the stool. TKO, TKO. Get in position. TKO, KO, TKO. Like, he can swat. He can swat for real. Now, Pacheco, I think, is incredibly calm and has the ability to go through and work in a way that even if he does get hurt, he'll be able to weather the storm, per se. He will, at least in my opinion. But no, if he gets caught flush with a shot he doesn't see coming, or gets caught downstairs to the body, especially if it's to the liver, that's it. We gonna see him. We can see some stuff get found out. And then we're going to see some stuff get found out. And Seijo can crack. Pacheco will take punches. Yes, he will. I'm not denying that. I just think he'll be able to still be dominant and win. Pacheco, Seijo weigh-in is live. Oh, it's live right now. Let me see if I can pull it up. Hold on. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. Hold on. Wait a minute. Wait 1 minute. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. Thank you all for telling me. I think they just had the stare down, but either way. Regardless of which, or that might have been from yesterday. But anyway, so if he can't take shots, he will go to sleep. There's a possibility. Like, we're going to find out. Now, if you can take Trevor McCumbie's punches, I think you can take Seijo's, at least with the same durability. You still don't want to take many of them. But if you can get caught flush by Trevor McCumbie and stay standing, okay. You got some stuff that you got some stuff in your chin. You got some metal up there from the standpoint of, okay, you've been tested in some regard. Trevor McCumbie is a butt. We want to talk about power comparisons. We're not gonna act like McCumbie ain't one of the more dangerous punchers in all of 122, or not 122, 168 at super middleweight. We don't got to talk about not as a fighter. We're talking about as a puncher. That brother got some uncanny type of power. I'm dead serious about that. But if he can take his punches, I think he can take Seijo's as well. I really do, because I put Seijo and McCumbie from a uncanny power perspective, kind of in the same boat a little bit. At least for me, in my opinion. But if he can take that, I think he can take Seijo at least better than we may expect. He still doesn't want to take much of those punches, but he can deal with them, at least in my estimation. After going through Pacheco and Seijo weigh in live right now, I'm watching it right now as we're all getting ready for that fight. So I would not underestimate Seijo power. He can put you to sleep. Yep, I'm not. Like I say, him and McCumbie, I'm putting them on the same pedestal. You don't mess with Trevor McCumbie taking punches recklessly. You better not mess with Sergio in that same manner, or else it's going to be a bad night. Scott Nicholson looks in very good shape. Yes, she does. Absolutely. She says the power is real at 122. Look, we're going to find out. She been leaning into this whole mean aesthetic of, look, we trying to put people on the floor. She leaning into it. We're going to see if she can live up to it. She gets another stoppage, and all of a sudden she got a streak going of, hey, I'm no longer just the point-getting fighter. I'm a puncher's puncher. Legit. All right. Gonna make a whole bunch of fans. Gonna make a whole bunch of excitement. We're gonna see it. Sergio excels his body shots. And again, that's why I said Pacheco better be careful of that long torso. He got a lot of, to quote Teddy Atlas, he has a lot of windows that he can break. He got a whole bunch of windows that he can break. A lot of room to shatter some glass around the world of Pacheco's body. He needs to be, all hands go. All hands go, and all things better be very much apparent and real, because if not, it's gonna it'll be a dangerous outing. Dangerous outing indeed. As we're going through. And still talking the fight. Ring walks of Gustav versus Pulev. Like I said, I can't see that fight over here in the States, because it's saying that it's banned from being shown. Our region doesn't have access to watch that fight, so I'm going to keep you updated on how that goes about. But also I want to make sure we don't drone on too long with the show. Like I said, you all control the conversation, and you all control the flow where the show is going to go, and we want to make sure that you all have everything that you can out. We also don't want to waste time and make it so that if the show gets boring, y'all just sitting here just for the sake of vibes. We want to make sure we entertain it. So we're going to do a last call, because I'm trying to think of what else we can talk about and discuss in the realm of the rest of the fight game. But at this point in time, I think we covered just about everything we can on today. Unless there is something we want to talk about from yesterday that you want to bring back in as a conversation. But as for the time being, we'll play it safe and we'll let you all control the show and see what y'all got to say. We're going to do last call real quick and see how you all feel about anything in regards to the world of boxing and beyond, movie, sports, television, video games, all that stuff. Whatever you would like to discuss, we can discuss it right here, right now, for your viewing and listening pleasure. As I'm real quick going through and just making sure that this stream is actually going to hold up to snuff for when we do continue it for however long we stay on here, because I don't want to make sure that we conking out. Just mild maintenance, making sure that we working like we need to work, making sure we doing what we need to do. There we go. Okay, yeah, we good now. We good now. We A-okay. We A-okay. So now, last call for the World of Boxing and World Championship rounds. Whatever you all got to say, if you have nothing else to say, perfectly fine. We can end off the show right here. What I did, we were talking about something yesterday that I wanted to revisit. What was it? There was one conversation that we had yesterday. It was something, we were talking about something. Oh, I remember. Well, it's kind of in adjacent relevancy, but it still sticks out the same way from the standpoint of importance. With next year's schedule being very much a whole lot of action and a whole lot of intrigue, pound for pound conversations are about to get very dangerous for a lot of boxers around the globe when it comes to how this shakeup may go, and depending on stuff, how it may end. We're going to talk about the likes of, of who can, who's going to be fighter of the year and whatnot. Maybe have an award show even for as we get close to the end of December, for how this can go on our show for some of the best awards that we can think of for the boxing sphere. But I'm telling you right now, who for your early picks is going to be reigning at the top of pound for pound in the boxing world? Because if you do have USYK there, I'm telling you now, his spot is vulnerable. His spot is very much at a shaky ground with everything coming out in terms of the fights that are getting ready to happen. And him and Wilder looking like the most immediate fight that's gonna take place between those two. Again, also we're watching Pacheco and Sejo staring off face to face. Now Pacheco stepping to Sejo. Wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute. Hold on. Real quick, both of them are staring eye to eye with each other. Both of them looking at each other. Pacheco has now stepped to Sejo. Walked from the center stage all the way into Sejo's face. Trying to tell Sejo to take off his glasses. Wants to look him dead in his eye. Is towering above him, trying to intimidate him. Sejo looking calm, cool, and collected. Not letting Pacheco's fierce stare get in his way. Looking like somebody had to look like Mobius, if I'm being completely honest. With them glasses on. But even still, it's been what? About roughly a minute? 2? How long has it been? They ain't broke eye contact yet? They ain't said nothing yet? They ain't moved yet. Wait a minute, hold on. They about to stay there? We've been having a couple decent, long stare downs with each other. Eddie Hearn put his hand in his face and they're still staring. They got to get pulled away. They're still staring. Bodies are to the cameras, but the faces are still staring at each other. Wait a minute. And now they talking and now they jawing. Now they starting to, time's coming in terms of Sejo pointing at his watch. So yeah, this is gonna be a good fight. It's gonna be a good fight, and I guarantee you, it's gonna be a barn burner. It's gonna be a barn burner. I can't wait to see it on Saturday. But real quick, again, the last thing I want to talk about before we get around here, because I think everybody has gotten everything they want to say. Pound for pound next year. We need to have this conversation early because it's coming quick. Pound for pound next year is going to be a very violent state for the boxing landscape. Because what Usyk looking like he's going to take on Deontay Wilder. And with all the other requisite work that's being done by the likes of Devin Haney, being done by the likes of Inoue, being done by the likes of David Benavidez, there's going to be a violent shakeup for the whole of this pound-for-pound ranking, especially in regards to the match with Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson as well. Oh, it's going to be a lot. Early predictions for who we think is going to take that pound-for-pound spot, you could argue if you have Usyk at 1, which, again, I don't. I got Terrence Crawford there. But Usyk's spot could drop. Terrence Crawford's spot could get tied. Depending on what he does with the next fight in his career. He could get tied. If he rematches Canelo, great. If he refights against Janibek or Lara, at 160, great. Fine. But he could get tired by the likes of Inoue if Inoue goes through and fights Nakatani after beating Picasso. Hypothetically, Nakatani could get his thing up and get his stock raised heavily if he goes through and performs against Inoue next year. Shakur Stevenson could get pushed into that top 6 area if he goes and beats Teofimo Lopez. Same thing with Teo if he beats Shakur Stevenson. Telling Benavidez with Zerto at cruiserweight, 190 to 199, that's gonna be a whole nother can of worms. Where we would have to put him from a hierarchy perspective with that type of result. I'm telling you, it's about to get violent. There are going to be some people that's probably going to get knocked off this list. There's going to be some people that probably get knocked off this list, I guarantee you. And boy, we're going to have some conversations coming down the line in a little bit. Let me see. Last question. Where do you put Sky pound for pound if she beats Scotty and becomes undisputed? Let me see. Pound for pound for Sky Nicholson if she wins and then becomes undisputed. I don't think I've thought about that. Let me think. Because the win, again, how she wins also takes into account for where she would rank. At least for me. And that would be good though. That would be really good. That would be that'd be really good. Shoot, man. Who she do if she was in the where would you put Scott pound for pound if she beats Scottney and becomes undisputed? I'll probably have to put her in there. Especially if she does with this next fight coming in with Scottney. Or rather, the subsequent 2 fights afterwards. Probably going to tell the tale. One of them probably going to be with Scottney for undisputed. Like, it would have to rank her above her. I would have to bump Scottney out. Put Scott in. You'd argue her over Lauren Price. Hypothetical, low Lauren Price is at welterweight. It's a little bit of a different division. Understandable. But she'd probably be 10th or 9th. Depending on how again, the performances as well as the accolades are going to help tell this story. She performs like she's been performing over her past 2 fights. And becomes undisputed. Okay. Yeah. I'll put her above Scottney. I will be willing to put her above Scottney. No problem there. And I think that's fair. I think that's fair. But then you may feel differently, but I think that's fair. 10th or 9th. If she becomes undisputed and she performs again with this same dropping people type of nature, I think it's gonna be great. If Shakur becomes the 4-division champ, 2-time lineal, and unified all by 28, will he be 5th pound for pound over Bam? Who? Woo! That's a good conversation. That's a great conversation, actually. Shoot, we might have to say that for next week, because I feel like this type of talk is going to be. I feel like this type of talk is about to be very. Shoot, if Shakur became 4-division champ, lineal, unified by 28, would he be pound for pound over Bam? No, he would. Now he would be 5th. I could put him at 5. I couldn't put him at 4. Bam is the 4th best fighter in the world. Bam has faced up against every form of competition without reproach. He has gone through the ringer, also become multi-time lineal, and has been, again, beating everybody the same way. Yes, he's been knocked down, sure. Then he knocked out Estrada. He beat us old guard who was still dominant. Everybody he's faced has been almost everybody he's faced has been some caliber of elite to Hall of Fame level. And he's facing them when in actuality we would think it's too early. And he is 20. How old is Bam? Bam is 25 years old. And his accolade, and again, this is not me trying to put a slight on. This is not me trying to put a slight on the likes of Shakur Stevens. It's not. Be clear. It's not. But he has been on an insane trek of ridiculous levels of greatness. Mind you, the same brother, I'm looking up his entire catalog of wins. At the age of 10, he's 23-0 with just about 16 KOs. I think it's actually, if they haven't updated it, might have been 17 with the last fight that he went and won and earned a knockout with. But like he's gone through when he had 23 junior he's ring champ at junior bantamweight, WBC champ, WBO champ. I think he just got another belt actually also. On top of all of his thing, he's been unified, 2-division. He's held the flyweight belt, super flyweight, Ring Magazine, WBO flyweight, IBF flyweight. He's one win away, I think, from becoming undisputed. I believe. And all this at a younger age, with a more consistent, stiff level of competition in front of him than Shakur Stevenson. This isn't a knock against Shakur. Bam has just done work akin to, in a way, akin to Terrence Crawford, akin to Usyk. He's been moving so quick and done so much. And Shakur's how old? Shakur is what? Shakur is Shakur's 28 now. Shakur's 28 now, and all these accomplishments he would have garnered, incredible, phenomenal. But the density of what Bam has been doing, coupled with the stiffer on average competition that he has been facing in these multiple divisions, and like I said, the clear-cut, dominant way he's been beating everybody the same way, and the skill that he has in his own right. Like, it's hard for me to put Shakur above that. Because that's work that's so undeniable. You gotta be moving quick and dominant to do what those four have been doing. But I'll put him at 5. No question. He does that. He beats T. I'll put him at 5. I'll put him above Bivol and Archie Beterbiev. No issue with that. I ain't got no problem with that. No problem with that. I'll put him above Bivol and Beterbiev if he beats Tio at 5th. Well, hold on. Would that be fair to Benavidez because of what Benavidez has been doing of this last year with David Morrell, Anthony Yard, now Zurdo Ramirez becoming unified champ? I believe it's unified champ. Is it unified? A minimum defending his belts. Going up against really stiff competition, legit contenders, top 3 to top 5 contenders at the light heavyweight division. In a new division. Turning himself into the biggest menace inside division, one of the biggest menaces inside division. And now he's about to move up to cruiserweight to fight against what people argue is the best cruiserweight in the world. If it's not Jai Bataille, Zurdo Ramirez, he's fighting Zurdo in May. So, that's tough. That's tough. That would be tough. That would be tough. Because if he beats Tio, I'd put him above. I'll put him at 5. I'll stick with that. But subsequently afterwards, if I see that Benavidez beats Zurdo Ramirez, he's going above Tio. He's going above Tio. I see Benavidez beat Zurdo. He's going above Teofimo Lopez. Both of them are still under Bam in my estimation. But it's going to take a great accomplishment to beat another great accomplishment. That's what's going to have to be. And Benavidez beating Zurdo straight off his stint, a new stint at cruiserweight. Yeah, that would be enough for me to put him above Shakur if Shakur beats Teofimo Lopez. Or vice versa, if Tio beats Shakur. I don't care whichever way he goes. Whoever gets that fight, most likely, I'm ranking him 5. But whoever goes through and wins, or excuse me, but afterwards, if Benavidez beats Zurdo in May, he's going above him. At least for me, in my estimation. But that's great, man. It's great. Barry had better finishes, but I think Shakur will have a better resume if he beats Tio. I don't think he'll have a more recognizable resume. But it won't be a better resume. He will have a more recognizable, name-based resume from the standpoint of notoriety. Yes, absolutely. Because at 135, 140, the division, that's when the names start to pop out with more people. Understandable. Most people stop paying attention after 126, 130 actually. When you get below 135, people just stop caring. People don't know. That's why people still discredit anyway. Not saying that you're doing that now, but from a quality perspective. But the Bam's been facing, just like anyway, but a 1 through 5. Quick, earlier than when Shakur was ever at the midst of those high regards of constant elite talent and fight more often. For longer. So like I get the notoriety from the standpoint of recognition, because at 135 and above, it's more easy to understand, okay, you beat this dude, and I know this dude is good because I'm familiar with him. At flyweight, ain't really the same thing. So, you gotta kind of delve into the weeds. But those who have delved into the weeds, we know that's some insane work. Again, what he just did to Puma. What he just did to Puma was like, that shouldn't have happened. It shouldn't have been that easy. Against that type of competitor who, per the Ring Magazine themselves, but that was the, outside of Bam, that was the best fighter in that division. Bar none. And he handled him with ease and boxed him and knocked him out like it was a Sunday stroke. That's not common. On top of the other accolades and other names that he's beaten. Qualitative, and abundant in nature. I don't think he would have a better resume. It'd be comparable. But for me, I don't think he would have a better resume, in my opinion. But even still, let me see. What if he stops in terms of Scott Nicholson? Oh, then we bump that up even more. He stops her, we bump that up even more if he stops as well. That's if Bam does not do any work. That's maybe, but like Bam not doing work is almost like sacrilegious, blasphemy almost. Because all he does is work. All he does is work. At least from what we've seen, all he does is just do some great work. But either way, that's a great conversation we're gonna have probably next week. Cause I guarantee you, we're going to have so much more stuff to come as this year starts to wind down. But we got to get out of here. I think we've gone through. We don't want to overstay our welcome. We're almost at 3 hours, and you also want to make sure that you all can enjoy the rest of your Friday. And I appreciate you tuning in to our show. But we're going to go home and wrap it up and get on out of here. So with all of that being said, this has been another episode of The Watchman with me, your host, Jean-Luc. We appreciate you tuning in. We appreciate you listening. We appreciate you having so much fun with us on today. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for joining me on the show. And thank you to all of you who came in and supported with the chat, with the stream, with some donations if you so choose. And again, if you still want to give and support this show, we got Cash App and PayPal, links down below in the description. Also, we have super chat, super gifts, super thanks, and whatnot to let you be able to be a part of this incredible, phenomenal community and help invest into this show to make it bigger and better for all of you to enjoy and so fervently support this stream. Thank you to everybody who tuned in. Thank you to Mr. Miyagi for donating to the stream. In fact, we got to make sure we do the pound for pound chatters of this stream. Number 5 was Teddy Burkshot. Number 4 was Bulbous Y2J. Number 3 was Truth. Number 2 was Armin Roder. Number 1 was Mr. Miyagi. Thank you so much for your support. Thank you all for tuning in. And hey, will you retain that same rhetoric? That same position come next week. We're going to find out next time that we stream. Come and find out. And hey, be a part of this whole show because it's going to be phenomenal. Rate 5 stars on their podcasting platform. Go through and leave a like on the video before you get on out of here. Comment thoughts and opinions on what you liked or didn't like about the channel. Be sure and subscribe if you haven't already. And keep on sharing the show with everybody that you know so we can keep on building up this empire together. It's been a joy. It's been a pleasure. What a phenomenal week. We're going to be back with you all next time. Be safe, be blessed, peace, and love. We right here, yes, sir. We're going to see you all. Excuse me. Oh, Lord. Oh, gosh, I almost lost my voice there. We're going to see you all next time. Be safe, be blessed, and we out.